What up, fam? Like, subscribe, follow, giddy up.
That's my baby. That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored! They did it!
Left, feet left.
What the hell was that?
Oh, yeah! What the fuck are you talking about?
Folks, Bob Mannery here, and you're listening to Agree to Disagree, the flagship, only on A2D Radio. Uncle Sweeps, Nick DelGozzo, the legendary Brian Wilson, and the fucking man himself, Tom Arnone. These three guys from Jersey bringing you real talk with no agenda. You don't like them? Tough shit. It's their show, and they're going to say whatever the hell they goddamn want.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome in. This is Agree to Disagree, only on A2DRadio.com. We are brought to you every Sunday by our doc, making viewers, Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, Burlington, Cherry Hill locations. Find them on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. Tom Arnone, Greg Milakovic, Nick DelGozzo, Brian Wilson, the family out there join us. What is happening? We'll do Crumb of the Week at the end of the show. We'll give you a little Phillies opening day preview. We'll talk about the Eagles trading back, get everybody's thoughts on that. And the Sixers road trip, we'll discuss it, and we'll talk about the final two games, which is the Nuggets tomorrow night, and then they wrap up with Cleveland before they come back home. And it ties into our poll question, brought to you by BodyCheckWellness.com. And you can use promo code A2D, get yourself 20% off at checkout. That's BodyCheckWellness.com. Promo code A2D, 20% off at checkout. They are a line of products that promote wellness, balance, and recovery by using the full potential of hemp. They come in extracts, blends, gummies, and topicals. Find them online, bodycheckwellness.com. Our poll question is, the Sixers are still the beast of the East. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. That's where we're live. Everywhere you get your podcasts, we're there as well. Like, subscribe, follow, join the conversation today. And to the poll, the Sixers are still the beast of the East. Are still the beast of the East. You agree or disagree? I agree. I mean, I know people are like really clamoring and excited, you know, the masses about the Nets because they go out and get buyout guys. You know, LaMarcus Aldridge is a guy I loved his game forever, okay? But 36-year-old LaMarcus Aldridge, if we act like he's the same player anymore, I think we're just really getting delusional. If one more person comes into my inbox telling me that we need to upgrade Mike Scott with Otto Porter or other slop, I'm going to lose my mind. You just don't upgrade slop with slop, okay? If you think Mike Scott is going to get significant playoff minutes, you're delusional, okay? Like, Doc Rivers already said they're running 8 and 9 in the playoffs, okay? You got to factor in Thibault's going to get minutes, Burkhand's going to get minutes, and your obvious ones, Shake, George Hill, okay, Dwight. So how many guys do you think are playing? Everybody wants a 25-man bench, all right? Would I like to upgrade to 4? Yes. We all talked about upgrading to 4 for a long time now. That upgrade is not available, all right? The only name that, like, intrigues me a little bit would be like a Kelly Olynyk, who actually has like a skill set that would fit here because he can stretch the floor. Like last night, the two jabrones, who I love to death, they're bringing up Gorgé Dang. Like Gorgé Dang played for terrible basketball teams and averages 18 minutes a night and gets bought out every other team he goes to. So I don't want a guy like that. I'd rather keep Mike Scott then than go off a guy who's getting bought out from bad teams, right? So I agree. I like listen, until they take over, until they're first in the East, the Nets or somebody else, this is the best team in the Eastern Conference. They're winning games, not last night. You're not gonna win games like last night without Joel Embiid. Let's be real, okay? If anybody really thought we were gonna come out and beat the Clippers last night, I think you're a little out of control. Now cover like I took them to, sure. But to beat them outright and to continue to play that good on the road, it's hard to do. You saw the legs were a little sluggish last night. And this is why
third game on the road.
This is why it's
across the country.
Yeah, well, yeah, third straight.
It's a guaranteed loss.
Yeah, 4th straight game on the road, 3rd straight third straight out on the West Coast.
Yeah, third straight West Coast. Sorry.
Yeah, but still, I mean, they started out with the Knicks. They had to travel out west. Not making excuses. That's a game we all penciled in as a loss last night.
Yeah,
It's the way the NBA works.
Yeah,
no team wins that game.
No, that's a tough game. But I get, Dwight better grow the fuck up. I mean, I know he's old, but like he's supposed to be a veteran and he's been good for us. You know what I mean? But enough's enough, buddy. You know the guys are. You're pushing these refs. You know what I mean? Like it's a little silly. We're without JoJo right now. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta fucking grow up, man. Can't keep getting fucking ejected.
Yeah, like I think obviously the night against the Lakers. I mean that's
sure, but I mean
last night I would like to. I mean the one ref claimed he made a derogatory comment, and that's what got him tossed. So I don't know. None of us know what he really said. I just think they're a little bit too whistle happy with him, and then he's got to be cognizant of that.
You get a rep like you like Draymond Green, you got a rep, dude. Then they're gonna come for you. You know what I mean? Like that's just common sense. You know what I mean? Like if you're a baby and you're a guy that whines for calls, whatever sport you're in, you know what I mean? Those guys ain't gonna put up with that shit, dude. You ain't no superstar. You know what I mean? Like it's one thing superstars get away with things. You know what I mean? But when you're just a fucking dude, man, they ain't gonna put up with that shit.
No, not at all. So, I mean, I agree until the Nets take us over. Like, are the Nets extremely talented? Do they look great on paper? Yes. Games aren't won on paper, though. Games are won on the court. All right, and we have an identity that everybody's like, well, how do we score with the Nets? Like, we don't have any trouble scoring. That's not our problem. Like, we're not going to have any trouble scoring when Joel comes back. And we do something they don't do. And we play extremely good defense, okay? They don't. And LaMarcus Aldridge is a good ad for them. Don't get me wrong. The guy don't play a lick of defense. He can't move anymore. He's not the same player he was. All right? I mean, the Spurs buy him out and they go roll the Bulls last night. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, like, I like LaMarcus Aldridge. I love this game forever. But if we think it's the same LaMarcus Aldridge as even 3 years ago, we're crazy. Better yet, right now, 36. I mean, listen, the Nets are going to be tough. But everybody's so worried about them that you're not talking about the rest of the good team in the East. Like, if you're going to overlook Milwaukee and you're going to overlook Miami and you're going to overlook the other good teams in the Eastern Conference, you're going to get bounced in the first or second round. If we're all worried about what the Nets are doing, you got to worry about, okay, what sets me up to get to an Eastern Conference final? That's what you have to worry about. And everybody talking about the buyouts now and upset that they didn't make a splash deal or whatever, right? The two biggest buyout deals you can make right now is getting Joel Embiid back and getting George Hill. There isn't a better deal available out there in the buyout market than getting those two guys playing. Simple as that. They're both very close to playing. They'll probably both be playing within the next week. Okay, and then let's start dissecting this team once we see it finalized and all back on the court together. But if anybody, I just don't understand why Sixers fans are so up in arms when this team just played really good basketball without their best player and maybe the best player in the league. It doesn't happen. Like the Lakers lose LeBron, all right? They're not going to be as good of a team. Simple. Okay. Now, if AD was there, they'd be better, but they still wouldn't be as good as they are with LeBron. And I guarantee that they might go through a little 2-2 spurt, right? Maybe a little 2-3 run, maybe a 2-4 run without the best player in the league. Like it's hard to win in the NBA without the best player, right? And everybody's like, oh, the Nets are losing. Don't have this guy. Don't have that guy. James Harden is the definition of a great regular season player. He always has been. The teams win 50-plus games every year in Houston, and they get bounced in the second round every goddamn year. So until that changes, and who's going to tell me it's going to change at 32 or 33 years old, right? When it's been a trend. Like trends are real. Now, is this team set for him to get over the hump? Sure. We don't even know what KD is. We know he's a unicorn. We know that.
What hurts them, Tommy.
2 years.
Them three not playing together at all. It hurts them. Then they're going to automatically play together and have chemistry in the playoffs. I don't know. If I was a Nets fan, I'd be worried about that.
Yeah, totally agreed.
I don't think Miami with the big three, right? When the big three first
only one basketball.
Took Miami
that's why I don't worry about the other two guys. You know what I mean? Like if you were worried about the Nets, which I wasn't worried about the Nets, but the big three are the ones that scare me. The additions don't scare me. You know what I mean? You're talking about two injury-plagued guys in the last couple of years. You know what I mean? Like you said, Aldridge is Aldridge. He's old. Blake Griffin. I mean, he'll get hurt walking in doing his fucking TV show. Probably gets hurt, on his way doing this new TV show that he's doing. So. I don't really, those two guys don't fucking don't do dick for me. You know what I mean? It's the big three, you know what I mean? And like I said, it's Harden. I mean, KD, healthy enough? And, this is obviously the best, supporting cast Harden's had. You know what I mean? Like, he's had, Chris Paul, and he's had Westbrook. We know that, we know that. So, we'll see. But like you said, we still have to see with our own eyes. You know what I mean? So there ain't nobody crowning anybody. You know what I mean? Like, but if you were worried about the Nets, before those additions, then I understand that. But like, if Blake Griffin and LaMarcus Aldridge, put you in panic mode as a Sixer fan, then then we can't help you. I don't know. Like, I don't know.
So the poll, I agree. I still think they're the best team in the East, and again, I'll say it until somebody else takes over first. I mean, I know the Nets have been playing great basketball too, and nobody's taking that away from them. They won't stop winning either. But all we've done is keep winning too. And we talked about just treading water. We didn't expect to still be in first, right? Like, we were just saying, hey, can we tread water and maybe be the 2 seed by the time Joe comes back? Well, granted, we got 2 tough games on the road still to go because Cleveland's always tough, no matter where it is for us. So we still got 2 tough games on the road that we got to go figure out how to go 1-1. But I think worst case, when they come back, the team's going to be the 2 seed. That's the worst case when they come back. And then you're talking about maybe a half a game or a game back. So I got the utmost confidence in this basketball team, and more than any other year. And a lot of it is we got great coaching too, right? And these guys pretty much hold each other accountable for the most part. And, it shows by them winning games without Joe. So I agree. What do you guys say? Family out there, let us know as well.
Yeah, and all roads lead to that, lead to that matchup if as long as we're on the opposite sides, you know what I mean? As long as one of us isn't, the 1 and the 4 and the 2 and the 3, you know what I mean? Then we can, we can meet at the end of the road and battle it out.
Yep, that's what it's going to come down to. And hopefully it is 1 and 2. You don't got to worry about them unless you get to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Mm-hmm. But that's the key. That's the key, right? Yeah, is making sure that you're away from them until the finals. To the poll, I agree also. I thought a George Hill-esque move, whether that was George Hill, whether that was actually Lonzo, right? One of those actual moves, and we got the George Hill version of it, I thought was the perfect move for this team. It's a veteran, a guy who's been there before, not necessarily over the hump before, but another veteran who's played in big games, who's done it, who knows his role coming into it, and can fulfill that role on that second team. I think he's going to bring a lot of stability to that. Going to allow Shake to play off the ball a little bit more. And yeah, I was bummed about LaMarcus Aldridge just because I thought his skill set currently fit better with us in the limited minutes on that second unit. I don't have any issues with him in Brooklyn. I think Blake Griffin stinks anyway, so I'm not necessarily worried about him. I think Wilson, you had a great point of they have to play together. They have to, outside of like Team USA where they've all kind of played together, right? But you have to play together with each other before knowing what they really are. So, yeah, I absolutely agree. I still think we're right there.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard not to. Hard not to think we're not right there. What do you guys say? Wills? Sweeps?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think, will the Nets pass us? Depending on how much time we have Joel out for. And I'm not trying to rush him back because we're playing good ball. So, all the time that he needs, obviously. But maybe they pass us. But I think we're still going to end up, 1 or 2. And in that case, we're fine. And I do think that basically it's going to come down, to us versus them. Or I think Milwaukee could beat them possibly if we can maintain the 1 seed. I think that's going to be a tough matchup for them because they don't have anyone that can guard Giannis. They lack size.
Yeah.
So to me, I think it's going to end up coming down to us versus Brooklyn or us versus Milwaukee, and I like our chances in either series, especially if Joe's healthy. If Joe's healthy, both those teams are going to have big trouble guarding Joe. They just don't have enough size. Especially Brooklyn.
I just took a quick glance at the standings just to see what they looked like, right? You have the 3 powers up top, right?
Yeah,
us,
they're way
Nets,
up, right?
And Milwaukee. And then the 4th seed is the Hornets, and they're 8 games back.
Yeah, I know we're way up.
I think us. Yeah. They're 8 games back of us. And it goes bunched together. You have Hornets, Knicks, Hawks, Celtics, Heat. Obviously, you round out your top 8. So,
Heat are playing better. They played shit early in the year. They're playing better ball, but they're still way down.
Yeah,
and the Celtics have been imploding.
Heat right now. Heat are the 8 seed right now.
And they had that, you don't want to be. So for the Heat, obviously we don't care. I hope they have to play as many games as possible. But Heat fans probably are hoping to get at least to 6th because that's 7 through 10. There's like a play-in. Yeah. I don't know if you guys remember that. So like 7th through 10th, they play each other first before the playoffs start.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the 1, 2, and 3 is obviously like you were just talking about. It's going to pretty much stay the same. So I mean, you really got to have an epic collapse to fall past 3. You know what I mean? Yeah. For any one of them teams, really. For us, or Milwaukee now, or Boston has to be like the world beaters, and that's just not going to happen. I mean, Evan Fournier is a good player. He's not going to change them for what they are. I mean, it's going to become this Brown and Tatum and Walker get it together. I mean, they haven't all year as a whole to be able to win games. I know getting Marcus Smart back is big for them, but still, I mean, they're so far behind. They got to go on. There's only 26 games left. So, I mean, they literally got to go win 10 in a row for to even be in conversation for that 3 seed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they have no shot. I think you almost can say that these 3 are going to be 1, 2, 3 in some rotation here. But no, I don't think anyone else is catching. I would love us to maintain 1. Obviously, that's ideal because then we would play whoever the 4th seed is in the second round, technically, instead of having to face Milwaukee or Brooklyn, depending on who's 2 and 3. So I would want to maintain the 1 seed, but I'm not going to cry about it if we end up losing a couple games here while Joe's out, just to give him more time to get ready. Because to me, most importantly, Tom said it earlier, is making having Joe healthy and ready for the playoffs. Most important thing. I don't care about anything else.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. And I'll make it a 4th agree. I just, I would word it different. I think we're probably the best team. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that it's worded wrong. I'm just saying when I hear Beast of the East, I feel like that's just like heads and shoulders above. You know what I mean? So, I don't know we have that much separation of the other 2, or, not like saying we're disrespecting anybody. I'm just saying, but I think we're the best team in the East. You know what I mean? Like, the other, there's some, obviously we know the talent that the Nets have, and we'll see if they can do it together. You know what I mean? And, we know what a problem spelling bee is, you know what I mean? But, we kind of match up better with them over the years, you know what I mean? As long as they don't dump in 12 threes against us, we usually hang, we usually take care of business against them. So, overall best team when healthy, and the addition of Hill and Doc Rivers, absolutely.
Quentin says, I think they'll end up with the 1. We got 2 Magic games at the end of the year. Well, they'll probably not miss against us. Probably drop 125. Even
I was going to say, you shouldn't be talking about how we have Magic games at the end of the year. That's not a good thing for us. We don't ever play an MVL. At least Fournier's gone. That dude don't miss against us. Hopefully that doesn't translate to Boston.
Quentin says our May schedule is soft. Yeah, but we still have a lot of back.
I don't care about schedules. I think you can lose to anybody if you don't show up.
Yeah, a lot of back-to-backs sort of take the softness of a schedule away. You know what I mean? So that's how I look at it.
And Tommy, to your point, last night was kind of that game. And I'm not saying the Clippers or anybody, right? But just you look at the schedule, that was a pure chalk up, take this L and move on, right? Let's not get anybody more hurt. Not get anybody hurt, and just take this L and move on. You got a couple days rest. I think Denver's Tuesday, so it gives us an extra day in there instead of playing, the every other, and hopefully we can come out and steal one there.
Yeah, and to Q's point, like I because I agree with Wilson, but I agree with Q too. You know what I mean? Like we want to get to where we got to get to, and we feel what kind of basketball team we have, right? And then you take it, like we know how the NBA is, so that's to Willie's point, right? And I get that, right? But we know you got to take care of tomato cans when you got to, you know what I mean? That's just the bottom line, you know what I mean? Like, and we know how the NBA is, and then back to backs and stuff like that, you know what I mean? But if your schedule is soft as baby shit, you know what I mean? Which ours was back, front loaded, whatever. It doesn't matter. Like you said, I don't care about the schedule. schedule. But you just take care of business when when you're supposed to, and they've done that without Joe. You know what I mean? So you expect whenever he's ready to come back and finish his regular season off, they'll continue to do that. Like they didn't miss a beat. You know what I mean? And that's the kind of separation we haven't had in years past. You know what I mean? Like we're terrible on the road, and we've been terrible on the road for years, and just terrible finishing games and losing to teams we're not supposed to lose to, and then we end up with a seed that we didn't that we shouldn't get, and then we create tougher second round matchups that we didn't need to have if we had taken care of business against tomato cans.
Yeah, for sure. That's sort of what I was saying the other night too. Is like usually in years past, he misses games, we stink. Now he's missing games, and we're playing really good basketball. And now it's like, oh, okay, this is a really good team. Like now it makes you even more excited to get him back because you already know they play great with him, right? And that proof's been in the pudding. But to your point, Sweeps, every other year he's ever missed games. I mean, we are atrocious. We're a lottery team. I mean, this is the first year where we're like, this is a playoff team even without Joel. Like maybe not a top 3 seed, but hey, they're probably around 4 or 5 without him. Just like the Knicks or Charlotte, probably a couple games over 500 type team without him, and that just gives you a little bit more excitement heading into the postseason and in years past because wow, man, I'm getting Joe back, and I'm getting a legitimate veteran point guard to run my second unit. I don't know how anybody's not excited over this team. I mean, maybe I've just been doing too many shows. I don't know, but like I just see way too many people like nervous that need a dog. Like I can't tell you the amount of people that have been just in my DMs today about it. Somebody told me, dude, you know what? I'll read you exactly what my buddy Tyler Coughlin said to me. That I want to read you this guy. This is how people are, right? Because I wrote in a group that
idiots.
You guys are all clamoring for buyouts, like it's going to matter, right? And he said, what did he say? So he was upset because I didn't want Otto Porter. Like I don't like Otto Porter. He doesn't do anything for me. Okay,
so 7 teams in 5 years. There's a reason, for that
because he's not good.
It's not good. That's what that means. It's like Gorgie Jang, 11 teams in 7 years or something. Come on, dude. Who wants Gorgie Jang? Of course, Chrome wants him. Fucking moron.
But you've lost your mind. The medicine from your tooth is weighing on you.
Yeah,
and I said, Otto Porter stinks, dude. I said, it's the beast of the East, and y'all scared. I said, buy a dog tag. And
when you're on a team that stinks, they're still going to score 100 points a game, guys. Guys are going to score points. Otto Porter would average 3 points a game here, and you'd be like, this dude stinks. Oh, it's a joke, man.
No. Yeah, I don't think I've ever lost sleep over Otto Porter. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't think I ever couldn't wait to the NBA season to start to watch Otto Porter play. You know what I mean? Like, I possibly might want to watch FIFA. Watching a game where Otto Porter's a star. I don't know.
He couldn't get it done at Georgetown either. I think they lost to the 15 seed when he was there.
I would say
FGCU.
Was that year?
Yep.
Sounds about right.
100% was that year.
But Tommy, back to your point about playing better or better than we have in the past with Joel. Danny Green mentioned that the other night after the LA game, after the Lakers game. And of course he was unconscious that game, right? But he mentioned that even earlier this year, they didn't know how to play without Joel. But they all bought in, and they're out there trusting each other. They're trusting the system, and you can see that because you're right, Tom. They'd be a middle of the pack the way this Eastern Conference is. They'd be a middle of the pack team even without Joel. And the fact that we're winning games finally, we're winning games finally without Joel is such a huge step for this team and for this franchise.
Oh yeah, exactly.
No doubt.
Phillies, Sportsman Philly, maybe a 10-point deficit to the Clippers is accurate. The Clippers had all their top players. Well, they didn't. I mean, they were without Rondo. They were without Ibaka. So they didn't have all. I mean, I'm not considering them their top players, but they're missing guys too. But they had their 2 stars. That's the difference.
Yeah.
And when Kawhi and Paul George are playing, that's a tough out. There's never an easy out when them 2 are playing, and and you got a little dose of them last night. But then, typical Sixers wise,
if they were on the road in the Eastern, If they had crossed the country and were on the road for their fourth game and played us in Philly, we would beat them without Joe. So it's just that's what happens, guys. I'm sorry to keep beating a dead horse here, but in the NBA, when you cross the country on the road for a week long, you lose a game. You play like shit. They actually didn't even play that bad. I thought they battled last night. They battled. I mean, they lost, but they battled. Usually teams don't even show up. Think about the Kings against us like a week ago when Ben and Joe didn't play. And I had to see everybody like, we're going to lose the Kings. And then we beat them by like 40. You know why? Teams don't show up. They don't show up.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, Jake, I wouldn't even say like the Nets are in trouble when we get Joe back. I would just say that we can beat them in 7. And that's where I've been. Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you the Nets aren't good.
Nets are definitely good, but I still think, Tommy, that if you're a Nets fan, you gotta be a little nervous about the fact that these guys haven't played each other with each other. Like, you're just gonna turn it on all of a sudden. Like, who's shooting the ball? You know, they haven't. I think that's going to be a bit of an issue for them.
Oh, that's what I forgot to say earlier on. I was saying, like, remember, like when the Heat got the big 3 and it took them like almost a half a season. They're like, just figure it out, and then they went on and played.
I mean, they're going to play great eventually. You know that, but it's going to take a little time. It's a little feeling out process.
Well, I mean, to that point, like, they better get Durant back with 2 weeks to go in the year.
And Kyrie better stop being a pussy, but that's not going to happen. So who knows?
I mean, this one's okay. His absence is okay. His other absence, you have no idea what he's missing for. I think this one's because he didn't travel out west with him because his girlfriend's due any day. So that's the only reason he didn't go out west with him. But
he played in 2 weeks though.
No, but that's
she's been due every day for 2 weeks.
I don't know. I'm just telling you.
I'm just saying he hasn't played in 2 weeks. I don't know what he's doing.
I'm not going to crush a guy for I was crushing him before I knew why he was missing, but now I know why he was out. I'm not going to I'll crush Kyrie for enough things. I don't need to, crush him for not traveling out west with him. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm not going to hammer him. Now his first little absence, that one was a weird one, right? I mean, his first absence was about 2 weeks, and there was no rhyme or reason for it.
He probably had to take a bus because the Earth is flat. So he probably had. I mean, it probably took him. It would take him about 2 weeks on the Pony Express. It would take him like 2 weeks to get there.
Right? Yeah.
Fucking idiot.
I mean, it could be some of the. It could be some of the. Like, unlike other years, it could be some of the protocols of maybe him, staying out past their due date. I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm just.
He's real. Yeah, I hear you. I mean, he's talented, but he's irrelevant to me. You know what I mean? Like, he literally is just like one human being that I'm like, nah, I'm good with. You know what I mean? Like, it's just constant. It's everything with him. It's just, he's a fucking jackass. You know what I mean? So I think he's the kind of guy you just pretend it don't exist.
I think he's overtaken Harden as biggest scumbag. They've been battling for a while. I think he's over above him.
Yep.
Todd wants to know, who are we getting in the buyout? Nobody, Todd. Nobody.
I mean,
why do we need anyone?
Moves the needle,
guys. I just want to know. Can I talk to everyone that wants a buyout player? Who are we getting that's getting any time on the team? That's what I want to know. Please tell me. Who are we picking up? People are mad that we got rid of Tony Bradley. That dude ain't going to play in the playoffs. Like, these guys aren't going to see the floor in the playoffs. Even anyone we bring in right now aren't going to play in the playoffs. Like, not at all. Unless we're up 25 in the fourth quarter, we put them in to get a little run so guys can sit on the bench. Other than that, they're not playing the playoffs. So why the fuck do we even care? Why do we even care? None of them are going to play. So who cares? Their team is fine as it is. We're good. We're good. I think they have a very good shot to come out of the East. Very good.
Houston's definitely petty, though. They're not going to buy out Kelly Olynyk. And probably because they know we would scoop them.
Yeah, I don't want that fucking scarecrow.
No, I'm just saying it's funny. Like, Houston will do anything to not like the fuck Daryl Morey.
Yeah, they don't like Daryl Morey.
Yeah, not saying Kelly Olynyk's a difference maker. I'm just saying, like,
I know. I just don't. I happen to not like Kelly Olynyk a lot. And last year when I went to the Heat game, I was verbally trashing Kelly Olynyk the entire game. So I like to keep him off the team.
Speaking of that, I don't know if he can play on this year's Zags team. I mean, they are just drilling dudes.
Yeah, the Zags are awesome.
Awesome. They're just
trying to tell people they are awesome. Like, it's almost a battle to see who loses to them in the national championship.
Yep, they drill everybody.
I just don't
TTP,
see how.
You're absolutely right, TTP.
Yeah,
if we're going 8-9, you just listed 6 names there. by my math, that's 11. So
5 names.
Yeah,
Right.
George Hill. I mean, but outside of our starters, the only other
Nicknames,
guys that are getting minutes are Shake,
it's one name.
George Hill,
Freaking
Yeah.
turkey.
Yep, that's a nickname.
like none of those other guys are going to get minutes. Like Maxey probably won't get much run if he gets any in the playoffs.
Nope.
All those other
You
guys
can't
aren't
get
gonna
run
any
in the
minutes.
regular season.
I agree, Greg. Like Paul Reed probably ain't gonna get no run in the playoffs. So he might get a little run right now while Joe's out, but he ain't gonna get no run in the playoffs. None of these guys are gonna get run. So why do we care? And we don't want them to get run because that means someone's hurt if they're getting run.
Yeah, or in foul trouble.
yeah, we don't want that.
Yeah.
There's 10 guys right there. I mean, like I said, he said you're playing 8 or 9, and different nights it's gonna be different matchups. So like I'm not saying Mike Scott will never get 5 minutes in a playoff game. But it would
Probably won't get 10 though.
it would strictly be off matchups. And Mike Scott talked about and this is what I was saying to the guys last night. Like Mike Scott talked about trying to find his role on this team, and is still trying to find his role as a role player off your bench. Like so you can figure out where he fits and little thing. He spoke about that. Now that's not an excuse for him missing threes. That's not what I'm saying. But like you bring in a buyout guy, now that guy's got to figure out where he fits in his role. So it's not
and that's a lot harder than you think about too, Tommy. That's a great point because you got a guy,
right?
especially if you have a guy that's playing 28, 30 minutes for another team and he wants to come here and you're only going to get 8 minutes. Like that's a huge different role. That's sometimes it's tough to even adapt to that role. Glenn Robinson Jr. couldn't do it, or the third couldn't do it last year for us. He played awful because he never could find that role, that niche. Now Alex Burks played it pretty well, but like that's a tough role.
And we find out Alex Burks is just a professional scorer too. And
he can put the ball in the hole.
We find that out. But yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like so anybody you go get, unless it's a star, like stars are gonna walk in and they're gonna find their way. You know what I mean? Like that's not hard for stars to walk in a building and say, oh well, I'm gonna play 35 minutes a night. I'm gonna find my role real quick.
It goes back to character guys. You want character guys because if winning, it should always be about winning. Ever since you were 5 years old, right? But along the way in all sports, college sports, high school sports, guys lose their way, right? Because we live it's a me world, it's a me society. You know what I mean? But you should play the professional sports. Yeah, you play. It's nice to get paid and be and be big dog and be be financially secure for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? But when you get in between those lines or you get on that court, you get on that field, it should always be about winning. You know what I mean? So hey, if I get a chance to get a title and go from 28 minutes to 10, all right, sign me up. I get to go on a good Sixers team. Yeah, absolutely. But like you said, that's tough with these guys' egos and their mindset and what they want.
And I know it's just him speaking, but I think it was like a month ago. But he was like, I just want to win games. So whatever I got to do for this team to help win games, I will. And that might be he might be a good culture guy in that locker room. He might not be a guy who's complaining about minutes. He might just be going about his business. Not that his business has been good. I'm just saying, like, just going about his business, being a good teammate. And they're like, well, why are we going to just get rid of this guy and buy him out? And it's going to cost us $5 million+ to buy him out. They then go buy somebody else. It just doesn't make sense when you're literally going to go buy the same player. If Mike Scott can hit you a corner three in a game, it's a win, right? One corner three, that's a dub. That's a dub. That's all you're looking for. And a little toughness, right? And the one thing we can say about the Beehive, I hate him, but you at least know he's going to be tough when you throw him in there and you run him.
Definitely brings
I was just going to say, I mean, anytime your nickname's Prison Mike, whether it's from Willie or whoever, I mean, I love the nickname. Maybe his parents don't call him that, but I mean, like, you got to like that. I like a guy like that on my roster. I like a guy like that on my roster where I can waste some fouls and I can, I got a chance to say, hey, let's go. You can leave the bench. I don't like what's going on right there. I saw an elbow. Blake Griffin threw an elbow right there. You can leave the bench, Mike. Go ahead.
Yeah, like what his role is. His role is when we play the Nets, get in there and foul Durant hard as fuck 3 times.
Absolutely.
Hard as fuck.
Goon squad.
Maybe get thrown out. We're fine with it.
Yeah. Rather him get thrown out
than an emoji of Durant
Dwight
crying and show it to him and then give him an elbow. I don't care.
Red Man, this is a good question, and the reason is I brought it up last night. The reason is because there's more teams that are in it because of the expanded playoffs, because of the playing game. It gives more teams a sense of false hope, right? That they're going to be in the dance. So it takes you away from buying out players like you would in years past. Think about it. 9, 10, 11, 12 would all be getting bought out if they don't think they're a playoff team, right? So that's the difference, and that's why you're not seeing as many buyouts in years past. And I also think COVID might play a part in that on teams just like staying still. It could. In terms of like getting rid of guys and then having to go get a two-way guy. You might as well just keep what you got if you're in the 11 hole and you think you got a chance to maybe 9 or 10, right? Maybe you hold on to guys. That's the reason why I don't think the buyout, like everybody's buying guys out as much as they have in the past.
No, Tommy, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's a great point to think about because we saw it in the NFL playoffs too. The expanded and also MLB, right? The Phillies were in that conundrum last year in the short season. Do they go for it? Do they sell? Do they go for it? Do they sell? We obviously know how that worked out, but there's a lot of hands that are still thinking they're in it.
Oh, hopefully not masseuse hands around Deshaun.
Oh,
loose buttholes. Joey Current.
TTP. Totally agree, brother. Totally agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fucking totally agree.
Never seen
I'm not even starting to hate. I might have to be a full blown hate.
Oh yeah.
No apologies, Red Sand. It's all good. I wasn't saying like I've already talked about it. Like I can't talk about it again. I was just stating that like
And it's even more than 11th. Time probably goes up to like teams that are about 12th and 13th even. Thinking like, we could sneak into the 10 spot.
Especially here in the Eastern Conference. Look at this, right? So
yeah, it's really tight.
The Bulls are a 12 back, Raptors 13.5, Cavs 15, Wizards 15, Magic and Pistons stink, but you would have to think the Wizards at 13 are within 3 games of the 10 spot in the Bulls.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not, saying the Wizards are going for it, but they're probably going to be a little bit more diligent in who they potentially buy out because more than likely you're buying out guys on the end of their final contract anyway. So why would you buy them out when you could just, potentially try and make the playoffs and then just let the contract walk? What do you gain out of buying them out? Nothing.
Nah. Zero. Well, that's a good point. I feel if the Sixers and Nets meet, it will come down to coaching, and that's how we win. No matter who they put in the lineup, I think a first-year head coach is a little up against it. I don't think that's easy for him. I'm not going to say that's going to be, the difference of us winning and losing the series because players play. But I think it matters. I definitely don't think it helps them. I don't think that's an edge for them. I think that edge goes to us, obviously. You know what I mean? With our entire staff. Of course. So I mean, I agree. I think that hurts them. But I agree with everybody else. I still think they go to the Eastern Conference Finals for sure. The Nets, unless who they got.
I'll tell you what, I would not be shocked if they finish second. That Milwaukee will be a very tough series for them. I think they can beat Milwaukee, but if Drew plays well and cancels out Kyrie, they're going to have a tall task defending Giannis. I'll tell you that because they don't have size. They're going to have to put Durant on him probably, and you would think they would want to limit Durant guarding him because obviously you want Durant to be optimal on the offensive end. So maybe Griffin guards him for a while. I don't know. I think they were going to really struggle with Giannis.
Yeah, and then he eats up Griffin or Aldridge or DeAndre Jordan. He eats him up. Absolutely eats him up.
This is what I can't deal with. This comment right here. And I love you, Green, but they don't have to for a center or a 4.
Why?
Dude,
he's not going to play.
What move?
Where is he playing? That's what I want to know. Where is he playing? When is he playing? When is he seeing the court?
If Dwight's
hurt, maybe. But
if they thought Joel was going to be out for any extended time, they would have made a trade. But they trust Joel, and he's coming back. He's going to be back this week probably. Once they return home, you probably get Hill and Embiid back for that first game at home. You can almost book that, right? And if they thought,
I don't know, Greg. We're playing so well, I wouldn't be shocked if they hold Joe. But they're saying that Hill's like really close to coming back.
Yeah, I'm just saying at some point when they get back home, right? They're not flying them out west for one game.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely not.
They're going to be here. So Joel's not missing any extended period of time that we know of. So there's no issue.
Yeah, apparently they like B-ball Paul enough to take some minutes right now.
Yeah, Mike Scott is garbage. He takes minutes. Nobody's saying he's good, but you got to understand playoffs that Tobias is going to play 40 minutes. Ben's going to play 40 minutes.
Yeah, Mike Scott might not even get on the floor in the playoffs. Or, like we said earlier, he might be on the floor just to administer a couple hard fouls.
And there's going to be times where Ben's playing the 4 when Tobias isn't on the court. So, I mean,
I'm not even a Mike Scott guy, but I think if you're trying to bring someone in right now that doesn't know the offense, doesn't know the system, and Mike Scott's been here, knows it, I'd still probably lean towards Mike Scott being better than him in the for a small sample size that he's going to actually play.
And the other thing we got to remember is he's obviously playing a lot now, but Mike Scott was hurt at the beginning of the year, and at the end of last year he was hurt. So he's just getting his legs back. He's just getting back healthy and getting back flow of playing at any amount of time. So I completely agree. If it's Mike Scott or Gorgie Jang, I'm taking Mike Scott.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
don't understand the Georgia Jang.
I can't believe the dang.
Louisville didn't even want him on the
I
court.
can't believe the dang thing is a thing. Like, I mean,
I think someone scooped it, didn't they?
I thought it was a roster.
Yeah, he already signed with the Spurs.
Yeah,
I thought it was like a meme.
I don't know.
Yeah. You know why he went to the Spurs? Because he'll get minutes there.
You got to ask Chrome and Brodo what the love is. I don't know. At 1 o'clock in the morning last night, they want to bring up Gorgie Dang. So I said, I'll take Luol Deng. Is Luol Deng available? But I'd rather have Luol Deng over Gorgie Dang at this point.
Is Luol under 45? Because we'll take him. That's the Dang we want.
Yeah, somebody else in the Dang family tree that might work out.
Right, I disagree with you. The panic won't be over because this fan base just looks for anything to panic about. We don't beat a team good enough, or we cough up a game. Like, come on, dude. Right, they're panicking about a stretch 4, a backup stretch 4 that might get 8 minutes. That's what people are panicking about.
They're panicking about a loss on the West Coast without our best player when we've been on the road for a week. If you know anything about NBA, I mean, there's not a team in the league that wins that game.
Why would you
on
the floor under 5 minutes in the playoffs, Chris? Like ever. You're not going to unless guys foul out.
Well, Furk will be over. Wait, better not.
I think what he's saying, Greg, is like in the last 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
There's no chance they'll be in. Yeah, there's no chance they'll be in. So
in the crux of the game, in the crux of it.
Conversation. You won't even see George Hill in the crux of the game.
I can absolutely see a scenario where. I mean, it's not a good scenario, but there's been scenarios this year where Furk's been on the game. He hit the tying shot against the Bucks.
Actually,
Hey, Dad! Look at him.
Actually, Joel Bordy, actually, there's a good chance in the first round that they will play in the last 5 minutes because we should be blowing a team out in the first round.
True, Will. It's true. Greg just couldn't.
Cannot wait to get over to.
Dude, I had to jump in and save him. I had to jump in and save him.
That's it. The only reason Steppy's coming back to the Mid-Atlantic region is so he can go visit Furky on his back porch and have a couple chilled fireballs with him and Furky.
Fireball shots.
He will lose in the second round. I think the Heat are good enough that they'll win the first round matchup. I don't mean like the 7-10 matchup. I mean like, whatever. If they end up with the 6 spot or let's say the 5 spot, I think they'll maybe win the 4-5 matchup, which I think they will probably get around 4 or 5 because I expect them to play well the last 25 games here. But I don't think that they'll win another game, another series after that. I could see them winning one series.
Yeah, I didn't think they expected to get off to such a bad start this year by resting Jimmy. That's what they were doing, obviously, because the guy played a ton of minutes, and you can see. I mean, he left it all out there in the finals, and then to come back 2 months later and you got to play ball again, over the age of 32. It's not easy. Not everybody's LeBron, right? So it's like not easy to do. And I think it was a smart decision what Spoelstra and Pat Riley did. It's like almost, managed them early on, right? But they're all going to come down to how much does Jimmy have in him, right? I mean. Oladipo is just a guy at this point of his career. So, I mean, they're going to go off of how good Jimmy Butler is. And I think he easily wins him a playoff series if he's 100% and his legs are good. Like, I don't know how they don't get to the second round. You know what I mean? They just got too much talent not to. And he's shown the ability to, carry them. So,
But also it depends where they finish, though. You know what I mean? If they finish 7th or 8th, they ain't going to beat us or the Nets in the first round. So they better hope they get up to 5.
That's 100% true. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. What missed free throws? Last night? Is that what you're talking about?
No, he's probably talking about Ferk.
Yeah.
The Ferk hate cracks me up.
Ferk hate is incredible.
Yeah, it really is. It's electric. It's electric hate.
Boogie, woogie, woogie, woogie.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I mean they can play together because Davis can stretch it.
Yeah,
Davis doesn't play down low as much anymore.
No.
Drummond's a bum, but he can score down low and get you boards. And they need something right now because obviously they have no LeBron and no Davis probably for about a month. So this is like hey, we need on life support here. We need Andre Drummond to come in and get some buckets for us. We win some fucking games here.
Yeah, I was just gonna say
that just made me laugh.
20 boards. I mean, 20 boards are fun. I don't crown the guy. I don't, especially contract wise, but it's nice to have 20 boards.
Yeah, I mean, a guy's gonna grab you 15 a game. You know that. He's gonna grab 15 a game. He's a great rebounder, great offensive rebounder. That's probably the best skill set that he has.
Yeah.
And Montrezl Harrell also a good offensive rebounder. So I think that he'll help the Lakers tread water here, over the next few weeks while they're still without their stars.
I mean, of course he's an upgrade, but I don't know how much he has left in him right now. I mean,
I don't think he's old, Tom. I think you talk about the injury. I mean,
Oladipo's a good player. I don't think he's that old either. But to me, he's not a superstar though. He's a guy that's he's not as good as Tobias. He's probably better than he's better than Furkan, and stuff like that. But he's not as good as Tobias. He's like in the middle there. Like I wouldn't consider him to be a star of any kind.
No, I would say before the injury, he was more of
he was kind of trajecting towards a star, but then the injury happened.
He just doesn't have the his explosiveness that he's had.
Yeah, that's what I was figuring. I figured you were talking about the injury because he's only 28. So I was like,
oh yeah, I'm not talking about his age. No, he's always had a little bit of I don't want to say an old man game, but he's always been physical and tough, and I've always liked the Oladipo. But it doesn't seem like he's been the same since the injury for some reason. Some guys bounce back fine, some guys don't for some reason. But he was also on a team in Houston. I know it's a dumpster fire, but they couldn't even find a win. I mean, they couldn't even find a win. So at some point, like if you're 100% Oladipo, aren't you going to walk him into a win?
You should, right? You shouldn't miss Christian Wood that much.
Go lose like 14 in a row. Like we lose 14 in a row, and you played in every game. Like
what's amazing is that
NBA.
So as soon as Harden left, they went like 8-2 in the first 10. Everyone was like, "Oh shit! Look at the Heat playing a ball, or look at the Rockets playing a ball." And then Christian Wood went down, right? And then all of a sudden, it was like, I don't think they won another game after that.
Yeah, they lost like 15 straight. It's insane.
That's crazy. Yeah, especially in the league that we know that teams just don't show up a lot in the NBA. Like how you lose a 15 straight, you should fall into a win at some point. Fall into a home win at some point.
And to Tommy's point, especially if you have a guy like Oladipo, if he's this great, huge superstar, and I don't know if anyone's really claiming he's a superstar, but if he's a good player, he should get you a win or two.
You would think.
I think he's a good player, but I understand both of your points. I mean, I don't think we need to get into Oladipo. I mean, but I think we leave it at. I think he's a good player.
Good player. He's not going to take you. Oh, yeah. They go. The Heat got him now. They're going to win the East. No. Yeah, he's nice. He's a nice little player.
Well, I mean, somebody's going to give him max money, and he's not a max money.
Yeah, he'll go somewhere and get great money, but everybody gets great money in the NBA.
Yeah, just because you're not a max money guy and you get max money doesn't mean you're not a good player.
AKA Toby. I mean, there's a great example. I mean, like I said, I'm not going to get back into the Toby thing because he's been fantastic for us. And let's giddy up and get us to where we got to get to, buddy. So, you know what I mean? I'm all aboard the Toby train, but. That to your point right there, that's there's exhibit A of that exact point you just said. You know what I mean? Like everybody to Willie's point, everybody gets paid. To your point, he's gonna get max money. And that's the way the NBA works.
I just think he's become a volume guy, and that was really never his game. So I don't know when Oladipo, I don't know when he became such a volume guy and it seems like he's been really struggling from the field in Houston. Now, everybody, that's where people go to die now. So, who knows? He was never such a volume guy before. So I just got to watch more of him.
Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah.
But it seems like just looking at stat sheets, another 8 for 22, right? That's a lot of what I see, and I'm like, what? What happened?
They don't have anybody else, so he had to be a volume guy. You know what I mean? That's like our pointer. Until we were just saying,
guys, I haven't been shooting the ball well. Vic, there's nobody else, so we're gonna keep shooting.
Exactly. So, he's a good complimentary. He's a good role player. He's a tough guy. He's a tough player. He's a good defender. Let's leave it at that. You know what I mean?
Can we expect more before we shift into the Eagles trade him back? We'll get into that, and then obviously there's no games on right now with March Madness, not till 5.
I think Michigan, Florida State's the next one. I like Florida State.
Phillies opening day preview we'll get into too. But can we expect more from Ben offensively, or are you guys I'll never be satisfied. I don't know, man. I
just want to be aggressive. As long as he stays aggressive, he's kind of been a little funk shooting the last field goal percentage wise last few games, but not shooting, but field goal percentage wise. Yeah. But he's still been aggressive, which is that's all I ask for. I've always been saying, just be aggressive, stay aggressive, and things gonna come to you. Good things happen when Ben's aggressive.
Yeah, as long as we keep winning, I don't give a flying fuck. You know what I mean? That's kind of where it's always when it's when you're struggling as a team and you expect more, and if your other superstars out, and you want we always in years past we wanted him to carry us and do stuff like that. You know what I mean? But Toby's been that other complimentary piece to Joe. And Ben's doing it all. You know what I mean? And that's all we need.
They've been working well together too.
Yeah, exactly.
Ben and
I don't need, what I mean? Like I said, I don't need 25 from Ben. It does, just to find a way to get to the winner's circle. And
absolutely,
you'll be fine in my book, brother.
play great D down the stretch. I feel like the last few games, besides last night, they on the road when they've been getting wins, it's like they've been keeping it close, keeping it close. In the fourth quarter, they fucking put the locks down.
Yeah,
they've been locking teams down in the fourth, which is great to see. And the biggest thing for me about Toby, I've been very critical of Toby in the past. Toby's been spectacular this year. And to me, I know a lot of it's Doc. He plays well under Doc. Obviously didn't for the Clippers. But to me, he's not shooting as many. I feel like he settled for too many threes last year, and he just missed too many of them. And that's not really his game. And you see now the intermediate, the get to the rim, the use your size, that's more his game, and he's excelling at it this year.
Well, you think that had to do with playing more of the 3? And
yeah, I do.
Expecting more of the 3 ball from playing the 3?
I absolutely do.
Instead of playing and not that 4s aren't supposed to be stretch guys. That's not what I'm saying. But instead of taking 5,
I think maybe Brett Brown kind of had listen, you're going to be our 3. You're going to be on the wing, so you're going to get a lot of shots in this area. When I think Doc's kind of we kind of want you to shoot more in the paint.
Yeah, and then go shoot 2 or 3 a game. That's fine.
You're hot. You make them, but we don't want you shooting 7 because it's not your game.
Yeah, absolutely.
No slip knot. You have not missed Eagles or Phillies talk. Everybody out there watching on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're watching us live at, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, comment in. Let's go. Get us over 100 likes on YouTube today. Giddy up. Let's go.
No, it's absolutely a great point about Toby, right? And those 3s, when he does take them, are more in rhythm, are more in the offense and just the flow of moving the ball. So everyone's set up. He's not forcing anything, right? And I think, a little bit of the game when, last night, I know it was, some of it was bad, but you're right, Will. Taking guys down to the block, getting that mid-range, getting, that little bunny jumper in the middle of the paint.
Get to your spot.
He's money with that.
Mm-hmm. He's been great all year with that. And it shows how great he's been because we go to that at the end of games. In close games, we go to that a lot. And that's the one thing I will say. I'm sure Doc has a big influence of this, but the thing I like the most about the Sixers team this year, and I think the thing that separates them from previous years when we thought we had a good team, let's not get it wrong. We all thought last couple of years we've had good teams. We just never kind of got over that hump. And to me this year, I think the big thing is that we play even better defense, and Joe, Ben, and Toby really take advantage of their size and get people down in the post and scored inside the paint, which is what we should be doing. We're a big fucking team, which is great to see. That's why I'm really high on the team right now. I really am. I can't be much higher on the Sixers than I am right now. That's why I don't want to hear any of this nonsense about Gordy Jang and fucking shit. Shut up. Shut up, nerds.
Yeah, we have the ability to create some mismatched nightmares, and that's finally this year we're taking advantage of that, and we're winning. Yep. Hey, direct correlation. Let's go. That's coaching.
Lord, thanks for chiming in, Lord.
Yeah, I mean, I still would like Austin. I like Austin Rivers, but I mean, really, how's he different than Shake Milton at this point of his career? You know what I mean? Like, I like Austin.
Say Shake is better.
Yeah, I like Austin. I always have, but like, how's he?
He's the guy that can hit a three off the bench.
Yeah, I mean, but really, like, how's he more than what a 24-year-old Shake Milton is at this point? Like, I'm going to stunt Shake's growth in the postseason to give Austin Rivers run? Nah, I'm good because my window's not just right now. My window's right now and the next 4 years. So knowing that, I got to let some of these younger guys, they're going to have to play some minutes in the postseason. You got to get used to it. Veterans win in this league. So the more run I can get guys like Shake and stuff like that, like last year, even though it was the bubble,
Tease and Shake definitely going to get run.
Yeah, well, last year they were able to, right, Wells? Even though it was the bubble, but everybody was hurt. So at least they got, even though we got ran out the gym, at least they were able to get run and get a taste of it, right? Which I think is important. Like, that's why the NBA is more of a veteran winning, star winning league than other leagues, because you got to get a taste. And it's a gauntlet. It's a gauntlet to get to an Eastern Conference Finals. That's why it's so hard to go to the NBA Finals. That's why when stars do it year in and year out, you gotta show them some love. Like, even if LeBron doesn't win the finals every year, he's always fucking there. It's not easy to do. And then regroup.
It's actually extremely impressive.
Then you're going to put your big boy pants on again the next year and go back again? And you're doing this all over the age of 30? I mean, come on. With all the wear and tear, it's not easy. It's not easy. That's why this is the year where they got to take their step. And this will be the last thing we'll say about the Sixers. This year is an Eastern Conference Finals or bust. It's that simple. All right? It doesn't need to be an NBA Finals. I get it. I would love to be in the NBA Finals. But I was saying, if you get to the Eastern Conference Finals, you're now playing with house money with this group. You are. That doesn't mean I'm looking to lose. I get expectations change as the season goes on, sure. But all of us were right around like, take the next step this year, right? There wasn't anybody out there that did podcast shows, etc., that said NBA Finals are bust. Nobody did.
I think Eastern Conference Finals is an absolute must.
It has to be.
Yeah.
No excuse if you don't get it.
If you're answering the poll question, the best team in the East, beast in the East, all that good stuff. You know what I mean? So, you agree to that and stuff like that, then that's a no-brainer. And if you get there and you lose a battle, against the Nets or the Bucks, and you competed and it was hard fought, and maybe it was not to stick the knife in again. Maybe it was a 7-bounce. Maybe it was a 7-bounce series again. You know what I mean? Like, I hate to PTSD on everybody there. You know what I mean? Maybe it's one of those series. And then you say, okay, I mean, that's just
getting flashbacks.
Yeah, that's the way. That's the way it goes.
Why is in the corner?
We didn't lose in the second round. We didn't get swept. We didn't get doored. You know what I mean? Like, we competed. We competed to the final whistle. And that's all. That's all we want. We don't participation ribbons. We don't want. We don't want that. You know what I mean? But let's be. Let's be realistic. You know what I mean? There's some. There's good teams in the East. You know what I mean? So to represent the East would be a tremendous accomplishment, and we'd be on cloud 9. You know what I mean? But and that's what we're still hoping. That's our goal. You know what I mean? We're not ducking that. You know what I mean? But I agree with you. I think going into it, not realizing what kind of step we were going to, Toby was going to take, what kind of huge impact Doc was going to be, even though we knew, we've had enough of Brett for 5 years, you know what I mean? But at least some of us anyway. We knew, we just did, and there's other role, the role players that, the pickups that, we knew we needed shooters, you know what I mean? So we were excited about the season, wasn't, you never sure, you always worried about Joe's health. All right. And, the talent was there, but, I don't know if anybody, expected him to, to be the best player in the NBA, you know what I mean? And I understand there's a lot of arguments for other guys, you know what I mean? But, really he was, you know what I mean? If you want to just call what it is, you know what I mean? You can hate on the Sixers, you can hate on Philadelphia teams and, whatever. But, Joel is when he, has been the best player in the NBA this year. You know what I mean? That's all.
Yeah,
that's not,
I mean, that's the best way to say it, Sweeps. That's the best way to say it.
Yeah.
Well, did you hear what your boy said?
This year, he's been the best player in the league, which is absolutely right.
Well, did you hear what your boy said about 24 hours ago?
No, who?
Harden. Such a fucking crumb, dude.
What did he say?
Like, they asked him, like, are you the MVP? And he says, yeah. I am.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I don't want to make it about me. You just did, bro. You just did. And then you got caught with your pants down and said, well, I don't want to make it about the MVP. You just did. How you answer that question is say, listen, I don't care about the MVP. I care about cutting the nets down. That's how an unselfish player answers.
You don't expect anything else.
I was gonna say, doesn't shock me one bit.
Nope.
Mr. Volume Shooter yourself. Not that he's not a great scorer.
I know. Listen, the guy's a tremendous player. I don't like the guy, and I think he doesn't play winning basketball in the playoffs because of him being a volume shooter. But the dude is a great player. He's got a knack for getting assists. I'll give him that. And he's got a knack for getting to the line. He still can't shoot. I don't care what anyone says. What was he? Fucking the other night, they're like, what an amazing game from James Harden. He's 7 of 29, 0 of 8 from 3. Come on, dude. What are we talking about?
That constitutes amazing.
What an amazing year. 28 and 16. 28, 16, and 7, I think he had. What an amazing game. He was 7 of 29. I can give 7 of 29 right now.
Was that Candace Parker crowning him?
Probably.
It was. I mean, she can't get enough of him. Candace Parker. I mean, she literally,
she likes the beard, huh?
Yeah, I'm not gonna say what she would do. You know what I mean? But Candace, she love herself some James. Might have seen him in a strip club once. Who knows? I don't know.
Probably.
Get 2 hands on it, Candace. Get 2 hands on it.
She's always got them big earrings on. Bigger the hoop.
The hoops.
Bigger the hoop.
Put my drink on that one. All right. Let's shift. We're an hour in. Let's shift to a little just about the trade back.
Pretty jealous of Wally Zerbiak's hair. I'm not gonna lie.
Wally's got great hair.
Fucking cocksucker.
Felt like it feels like he hasn't aged a bit.
Yeah. I feel like he's still playing for Miami, Ohio.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
I was waiting for somebody to say pick him up in the buyout.
Probably can still drop a few from
I was
three.
going to say, can he still stroke?
I would assume he can still stroke it.
Wally World.
Available to buy out?
A lot of moving and shaking, which honestly affects not only the Eagles, it brings the Dolphins into this conversation as well for Uncle Sweeps. And Laramie Tunsil, the greatest trade of all time. I mean, literally, the greatest trade of all time. And if you guys didn't see it yet, I'm going to read you off real quick. I'm going to read you off.
Yeah, what they've got now for that trade?
Got back for Tunsil, for a left tackle. Now, granted, we know how important left tackles are.
Old gas mask himself.
Yeah, Uncle who I would have taken.
Gotta blow that shit out.
You got to blow that shit out.
They got back 4 first-round picks, essentially, right? 2 second-round picks and an extra third, all for one player. And Tunsil went to his Instagram with a statue of himself out front of Hard Rock. You can find on ATD Radio as a statue. Is that Nick Foles? I mean, so he put the statue up and all that stuff. And I think that's all that got. I don't think the photo's cut off on me, right? That's all it was.
Yeah.
Anything else doesn't matter. So, irrelevant. How about that?
But even take him at obviously that's the first domino. So I understand where you're, great read by you. You know what I mean? But Chris Greer has just done a great job there. You know what I mean? Like the biggest thing is, they got 13 picks in the first 2 days in the next 3 years. It's insane. You know what I mean? They went back. They slid back in essence. The other day, they slipped 3 spots to get a first and third rounder. I mean, giddy up.
It's amazing, and they're a good football team. So, like, you're a good football team. You're going in the right direction already, and then you add all these picks, and it's going to tie into what we're going to talk about in a minute. If 2 is not the guy, right? They have enough assets to be able to go find that guy, right? And that's what they're setting themselves up for. Similar to what the Eagles are trying to set themselves up for. That if this guy is not our guy, then I'm going to have enough assets to be able to go figure out who that guy is. And
Agreed.
Either trade for it, move up in next year's draft or another year's draft, whatever. So the Eagles Miami goes from 3 to
3, 12, 6.
3 to 6.
Yeah. They slipped 3 spots.
There was a 12 stop midway through there that they
reverted
back to 6.
They had a layover. They had a layover in San Francisco.
They
had to refill the gas. The gas stop.
They had a layover in San Fran to go back to Ohio. Made no sense, but still worked.
Yeah, like I said, they went back. They traded back 3 spots to get a first and a third. And just to sum it up without people getting their brains fried. You know what I mean?
Just give me your guys' thoughts on. You guys already probably heard mine. I mean, I'm good with the deal for the Eagles. I'm just not.
I actually like it.
I'm just not good with who making
personally,
the deal,
Tommy.
Right? Like I don't trust the guy making the picks. But it's a
disregard that part of it. I'm right with you there.
The no-brainer because you're gonna have. Listen, there's going to be.
We stink. We need more picks.
Smith, 13, Parsons, one of them types of guys is going to be there at 12 because there's going to be like 42 quarterbacks.
Absolutely.
Top 10 right now.
You figure even if we're saying at the low number, there's definitely going to be 4 taken in front of us. 4 quarterbacks are going in front of us. It could be 5.
And book
but
2
definitely
4,
4.
Right, Wills? You can book
2 O-linemen, 4 quarterbacks. There's only then you figure Jamar Chase probably goes, and everyone loves Kyle Pitts, so he probably goes. So that's who's taking Surtain. Now I'll get nervous. Maybe Dallas takes Surtain, but I think there's a really good chance Surtain is still there at 12. This is why I like the deal. Because that's the guy I want. That's the guy I want.
Yeah, and I think for both sides it worked out well. You know what I mean? Because you get back a first rounder and you slip 6 spots, but you could still get the guy, like you said, still get the guy you want. And I think Miami gets back into the top 7 to get a guy like Pitts. I mean,
they're going to draft. They're going to draft Pitts or Chase, right?
Guys are freakazoid, and I'm all in. You know what I mean? Like before, I was like, I didn't want him at 3. You know what I mean? Like, and you say, well, what's 3 spots? I don't know. I mean, I'm good.
When they get a first and third for it, then you're like, I can take him. Okay, you're right. Okay,
you're playing with house money at that point.
Yeah. Okay.
Now you care about shorts and a tee, right?
But they like 2 tight ends.
I still think he's going to stink.
I wouldn't be surprised though. Like I know, they might be rumored to really loving Pitts, but until they pass on him, I still wouldn't be surprised if Smith's that guy. Now I know it might be early to take him at 6, but until they pass on him, the Bengals.
They're going to try everything they do. Pacifier, warm bottle, a diaper rash to get to do something. You know what I mean? So that's his guy. I mean, like I said, he's a Heisman Trophy winner. He's a fantastic player. I just think, he looks like a twig, dude.
That's not his guy, though.
I don't know if that's going to translate. I know, but I'm saying it's
what's it called? I don't think Devonta Smith ever caught that many balls from 2. I think the other 2
broken in half. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, no, I understand.
I would care about the size if like 2 Hall of Fame wide receivers came out on Twitter talking about that they were 170.
I understand.
He can really run routes, Tommy, which is big time in the NFL. Big time in the NFL.
The best route runner, hands down, in the NFL. If the dude wasn't getting banged up in the SEC, I think he'll be able to make it. I understand the concern. I mean, draft him at 6, right? At 170 pounds, you're like, I get it. This is like until Cincinnati passes on Jamar Chase, I'm believing they're taking him. You know what I mean?
I think Jamar Chase he's the guy that you look at in this draft that you say, if one of these guys is a superstar, it's Jamar Chase. That's in my opinion. That's how that goes.
I still think
I do think that Devonta Smith can be very good. I think Jalen Waddle can be very good. Jalen Waddle has speed that you can't teach, but he's coming off injury. But I think that both them guys can be very good. I think that Chase is above.
Yeah, I agree.
And that it would be a Cowboys pick, Red Sand, taking
J.C. Horn. Hopefully they do. Stink.
Yeah, like that would be their type of move. So I like what they did.
People like Caleb Farley too a lot.
I don't think Surtain gets past there, so that's why you might have. That's the only fear you have if Surtain was your guy as an Eagle guy. You know what I mean? If that was I know, and I agree with you. But if that was your guy, I don't think he gets.
I also love Mika Parsons. By the way, I will take Mika Parsons.
I don't know if he gets past Dallas at 10. Surtain. So you might have to get back
the other day.
You might have to move back up.
We're not going to draft Mika Parsons because we just don't draft linebackers. But maybe now we got Sirianni and maybe he can get some shit in people's heads.
The way he ran the other day.
Oh yeah, listen, his stock, his pro day was off the charts. But
Parsons is going top 15.
He's not going to get past on it. Just there's some characteristics there. That's I'm just saying. I don't know. Just from the talk.
They're the guys who dropped the 12, like Warren Sapp,
Yeah.
Randy Moss, right? Not comparing them to them guys. I'm just saying, like the characters, you guys that like, Warren Sapp was picked at 12th overall, right? He dropped out of the top probably 6, 7, where he probably should have went and dropped.
Top 5 probably. Yeah.
Right. So the same thing's going to happen to Parsons a little bit. Even though he looks delicious in shorts and a tee, he's gonna drop a little bit.
He's all over the field too. I mean,
the dude's a steal at 12. Like you get a guy at the middle linebacker position, you can book him for the next 10 years. It's a fucking steal. Now,
I love Micah Parsons. I still don't think we'll take him, but I love him.
And the thing you look at, like a guy like
He's
Parsons,
a tackling
right?
machine.
I understand like shorts and a tee, but what that translates though is you can play him anywhere in that middle, like along the linebackers, right? If you want to play him on the outside, he's got the speed and the athleticism to cover some tight ends, or if you want to stick in the middle because he can tackle, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, to me, Greg, you just put him in middle.
No, I agree, but I'm saying like that's what that
put 2
athleticism
D tackles in
shows
front of him and let him go eat. You say, listen, we're gonna keep blockers off you. You make every tackle.
Greg, you know what it is, Greg? Though, if he the only time shorts and a t-shirt lie to you is if a guy can't play, right?
Yeah,
that's the only time
he can play.
Oh, it does say, okay, like he already showed he can play on the football field.
But we saw tape works. Yep.
Yeah. So now you're like, oh, and he's running a four flat to say, right? This ain't not a 4.39. This doesn't say a 4.
Yeah.
Like what? So now you're like, okay, now everything on tape that you watch him play, now you're just putting it all together and say, okay, this guy's a home runner, right? And now the thing with like Patrick Surtain, like that's the thing, like. He ran a 4.4. What? He ran a 4.46.
4.42, I think, or 4.42 and 4.46. I think were his 2 times.
So I mean,
listen, that's great run for him because he's more of a bigger physical. They didn't think he was going to run that. A lot of guys had him over 4.5. So that's a good run for him. 4.42.
And Joe, that might be the reason why they wanted to get back up in the 6. Could be. After going to 12.
Yeah, absolutely.
They know they're not going to get Chase at 12. And that's why they had to get themselves back up there and call the Eagles because Hal was always willing to add picks. But what I really like this deal about is that now it's not guaranteed next year, but coming into next year, you're most likely going to have 3 first-round picks.
Yep. Yeah, most likely. Yep.
This is a team that's not one player away outside of a quarterback from being competitive, right? So hear me out. They're not one player away from being competitive.
The smartest thing you've ever said.
Outside of a quarterback. Now, if you went and got me Deshaun Watson, are they competitive in this division? Yes. Okay.
Absolutely. Still wouldn't be good enough though.
No. Are they a legitimate? They're a one and done if they get in.
I was gonna say we could win our division probably.
Yep,
or battle Dallas for it.
And then you're out. And then if you make the playoffs, you're out real quick. You probably get beat 42-7. Okay. So they're not one player away. This is why this is a smart decision. Then all the Eagles fans upset about it, like, oh well, he doesn't draft well. So what makes you think he's going to draft well at 6? They're not guaranteeing you nothing.
I think the only caveat there, real quick, was just there was so many options at 6, it was almost hard to miss.
He can find a way, Greg. He
or you
find a way,
right, Greg?
Absolutely.
You take that fucking.
You take Trey Lance. You take Trey Lance at 6, and you missed.
True.
But
I completely agree.
God sweeps. Sorry. Now you take him at 12. It's not a miss. Look at what you're doing. No. This is what they're doing. Oh, my God. This is what they're doing. They went to 12. Oh, so not a big of a fuck me.
Trey Lance falls right into our lap at 12.
I'm going to get arrested.
Hand to God right now. If we draft a quarterback at 12, I'll never watch another Eagles game again. Seriously. So you can hold me to it.
Wells, I'm getting arrested. So, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen.
I'll go arrested with you. We'll go we'll just go down to NovaCare.
Yeah, I already
go together. Just drive right through the bubble. Like we're not getting out of the car. We're driving right in.
You got to have a partner. $250. Split the bridge fee.
Oh yeah, of course.
Bring your dad's easy pass again. I'll leave it in my car.
I got an easy pass.
That's it.
In the whip. You hop in with me. My car's
don't even need details. I mean, this is finalized. Don't even need details. This is it. Easy pass closed it.
I would rather have Mac Jones at 12 than Trey Lance, honestly, and I don't want Mac Jones either.
Yeah, I agree, and I don't want him. Yeah, I don't want either one.
I don't want him either, but I'd rather have Mac Jones.
I don't want a quarterback that's not named Trevor Lawrence. I do like Zach Wilson, but I don't want to take him. If we could get Trevor Lawrence, I'd be like, okay, I'll take a quarterback. But besides him, which we can't get, I don't want a quarterback.
Yeah, and with this trade, I also agree. I like the trade. I think, to me, 6 was almost, as a guy who wanted Chase, I'm bummed we can't get him now, right? But you're right. It opens up a lot more options at 12, right? Now you let that person fall to you, whoever it is, Smith, Parsons, Surtain, right? You let a bunch of guys fall to you. Slater, Rousseau comes now into play as we try and figure out what to do with BG. But you're right. Next year, we potentially could be the Jaguars right now next year, right? A buttload of cap space, 3 first-round picks. Let's play ball.
Yeah,
now, hopefully,
I totally agree,
if
Greg.
that's the case, because that means Howie missed on Jalen. Hopefully, he's not the one picking, but we all know that that's a pipe dream. But we could be sitting next year with a buttload of picks, a buttload of money to do whatever we want to do with it.
That's the biggest key. More than likely, we'll have 3 first-rounders, and we'll have a ton of cap space. Basically, the world's our oyster next year.
Even if we only have 2. Even if we only have 2, though. Like, we definitely have 2. That's still good.
Yeah, but we should have 3.
If
Carson's healthy, he's going to start for them. So
Tommy,
we should have 3.
That one. Sorry, Wilson. I'm sorry. I don't understand this one. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Mark, you got me on this one.
It was something Joe Banner tweeted out the other day. So Joe Banner had tweeted out the other day how the Dolphins didn't really get good value because these guys these actually proven talent is only costing teams 2 first rounds. So now you're trading 2 first rounds for a project where proven talent guys like these 3, Khalil Mack, Jalen Ramsey, and Tunsil, are only costing you 2 first rounders.
So you're saying you give up 2 first to get a known instead of give up 2 first to get an unknown.
Correct.
Yeah. I mean, scared money don't make money either. Scared money don't make money either. So
you talking about the Dolphins? Who's he talking about?
He's saying because the Dolphins.
Yeah, it was the Dolphins.
Yeah, the Dolphins got a first and a third. They traded back 3 spots when it's all said and done. They picked up.
That they gave up. Would they give up 2 ones?
No, they picked up a first and a third. Right? They gave the Eagles a first. Yeah, to get
or
back.
Maybe he was referring to the.
They got 2. They got
the
2
Niners.
from the. Yeah, that's probably what it is.
Maybe he was referring to the Niners.
From the Niners. They got They got 2 from the Niners. And they gave 1 back to the Eagles. So in essence, they dropped 3 spots and got a first and a third. Yeah. So probably the Niners. Yeah, that's good.
I thought they did a good job.
Yeah. That's where I was confused. I mean, I wasn't going to scream from the rooftops, but I was wondering what the 2 ones were coming from, and that's what the Niners had given the Dolphins. Yep, they get up to 3. Yep.
Yeah, which is crazy. I mean, you better love that quarterback at 3 then.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You better
Mac
love
Jones
at 3.
You better love Mac Jones.
Man,
Justin Fields.
Because Justin Fields' parents don't even love him to draft him at 3.
I don't think he was talking about that because then he said a projection at 6. Whatever. Let's move on.
Well, the unknown of drafting someone, right? The unknown.
Yes, but I mean,
Sweeps, dude's an idiot. There you go. Solved it for you. Got it.
No, supposedly this is what Joe Banner said, right? Is that what you're saying, Greg? This is Joe.
Yeah, Joe Banner.
I understand what he's saying. He's saying you traded a guy that everyone knows is a good player for 2 first-round picks when it's a guessing game. But hey, if you're a good drafter,
we all understand that. I'm saying that the Dolphins. I'm just telling this guy and Joe Banner, the Dolphins didn't trade 2 ones. I mean, the
Dolphins made out.
I
think he's what he's saying is that you have 2 ones, right?
They went from 3 to 6.
Here
picked up a first and a third. That's all. So.
Here it is. NFL teams are trading 2 ones for players like Mack, Ramsey, and Tunsil. Dolphins will use 2 ones to pick a projection at 6 who never played in the NFL. First trade was smart. Second one is really bad, even if they pick a good player. You can acquire a top NFL proven player for 2 ones. Okay. I mean, all right, Joe, you had a lot of success. Shut the fuck up. I know what he's saying. So, I mean,
Joe,
you could go get.
There's a reason that Joe Banner doesn't have a job anymore.
Yeah, so I don't know.
That's what I would say.
Exactly.
That's all
at the end of the day, I'm not
starting 6 and
who
not
knows?
and not owe that kind of money that you're going to owe a Mack or a Ramsey, etc. And you own it for 5 years.
And the way to win this league,
5 years.
Yeah.
I almost have an idea. I'm gonna float something at you guys real quick. All right, tell me what you think about this. Now, this would never go well with the fan base. Okay, but
float it.
What do you think about I feel like every
float
team,
it.
Okay. We get it, Craig. Okay, we get it. No, but I feel like every team, once they have to pay their quarterback, is when the teams start going downhill. Obviously, because then you start losing players. He's got to pay the quarterback a certain amount of money. What if you thought maybe you just sign a bunch of other guys and you just keep going through different QBs every 3 years? Now, obviously, if you hit one and he's a stud, it's tough to sell your fan base like, we're going to let him go and pick another young guy. It might or might not be a stud, but you could have such a great team around them if you constantly kept quarterbacks on like your rookie contracts.
Brian Wilson, Brian Wilson, quarterback, aka leasing cars every 3 years.
Yes, every 3 years. It's so tough to sell. It's so tough to sell because you're like it's like if you had Mahomes and they have to win a Super Bowl, you're like, all right, take that, go sign somewhere else. And it's like that's so tough to sell to the fan base. Like, did we just let him walk? And it's or we're gonna let the rest of the team walk and we'll watch him get beat up and not win. So I don't know. I feel like it's something I'm playing with a little bit in my head. I'm like maybe in 5 years I can become a GM by telling the team like, guess what? I got a crazy idea here.
Only 17,000 miles on Pat, and you guess guy wants to trade him in. Are you fucking crazy?
I understand it's a tough sell. I get it.
Are you fucking crazy?
But it's something to think about, though. Is it not? It's kind of intriguing. Until you draft the Pat Mahomes, it's intriguing until that happens. Then you're like, shit. All right, I guess we're gonna have to break the tradition here and sign this guy.
Yeah. I mean, listen, if you just keep trading in Honda Accords,
because I feel like a lot of guys, especially now, a lot of the quarterbacks, they have a lot of success early. Especially the guy, like the way the quarterback position is trending. Once these guys that are really athletic start getting hurt, they're usually not as good. So it's something to think about.
Yeah, I mean, this is why for the Eagles it'd be, smart to just buy in the Hurts for the next 3 years and build a football team around them. But like we were saying, what's your thoughts him trying to go up to 3 to get a QB or to get Wilson? Like, I got no problem if you see your guy and you want to go get him, right?
Me too. No problem.
What I got a problem with, I would have no problem with that if you didn't just draft the quarterback last year in the second round.
Okay? That's also true.
So that's when the problem comes in at. I'll say it a million times. You guys know how I feel about Jalen Hurts. He needs to play 17 fucking games, and then you can do whatever the hell you want to do. All right? Whatever you want to do. So this is what
I totally agree, Tom.
As an organization.
He has to start this year.
17 games. Unless he's hurt.
I mean, he has to start as long as he's healthy. But he's got to start, because if you don't start him, it's just another admittance that we made a terrible fucking pick, and we drove our franchise quarterback out of here by making a terrible pick in the second round for a guy that we're never even going to play. That's just stupid. That's just stupid.
Because he's such a worker, guys, and I know it's just a quarterback coach, and I'm not trying to overwrite it or overhype it. I'm not saying he's going to have a monster year or anything, but I think he will be better from the pocket this year.
I hope so. Listen, I like the kid. You know this. I like the kid. I just hope
very good with this. He's well known for this. I think he's done a wonder for Deshaun Watson from inside the pocket. Right? We already know about Deshaun outside of the pocket, right? But he's done good things for guys that are known to run around a lot, right? His release looks quicker. Just from watching videos, you know what I mean? It is what it is. I don't know. It's shorts and a tee, right? But his release does look quicker. But again, can you throw over guys that are 6'5", right? Can you find throwing lanes, right? That's the big thing, right? But because the kid's such a worker, and I'm an Eagles fan, and I got nothing to lose this year besides games, okay? Nothing to lose besides games and a good pick.
We already lost a bunch this year, so
let me see what I have. Just let me see what I have. If he stinks like we all thought, then fine. Right. If he comes out and has a really good year, then we can be excited about something. But to not let us see it is a mind fuck, because you drafted him, traded your franchise guy. We thought you were giving the keys to this guy, and now you're talking about moving up for Zach Wilson, etc. Like, you can't do that. You can't do that this year. That's all. This year. Next year, do whatever the hell you want to do.
And I will say that I think Zach Wilson's a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts, but I still am totally in agreement with you. You drafted a guy, you got to play him. We drafted him in the second round. We wasted a second-round pick where we could have had a defensive starter last year. We could have had a guy that actually started our defense in that pick. Instead, we went Hurts. You got to start him. He has to start this year. There's no ifs and ands or buts about it. He has to start. As long as he's healthy, he's our starter.
And I understand new staff, right? They didn't draft him. They probably, want to get their guy. If they're gonna be judged on their wins and losses, they're gonna want their guy. I get that, but you're both absolutely correct. This is Jalen Hurts' team for this year. And that's it. He's got to play. We got to figure out. Wilson, you said it. Tommy, you said it. We wasted that pick at 53 then.
Yeah.
For what? Just to move on from him? In your scenario, there ain't no lemon law. There ain't no lemon law. We can't just trade in Hurts because there's no lemon law here. We lose out.
QB factory.
It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. And
I would love to say that would get Howie fired, but we know it won't. So,
no, it definitely won't. It doesn't shock me though that they were in the market. I knew they were. I knew they were going to fall in love with Zach Wilson. I just knew it, just because that's a Howie type of move. You know what I mean? To fall in love with those tools, especially in shorts knit tee, when he could just sit there and be like, "Ooh, I get a new toy." But you got to let Jalen play. We got to find out what he is.
Yeah.
And like you said, the kid's a worker, so let him get out there and play. I mean, he could have a good year. I think he absolutely could have a good year. I still don't think that he's ever going to be good enough to win, big throws from the pocket. But hey, prove me wrong.
Oh, I feel the same way, Wells. But go prove me wrong. Seriously. So Phillies news.
What up, Pop?
What up, Pop?
Pop.
And absolutely, Pop. Way too many injuries the last couple of years, and people are talking about drafting another thing that's up all my nerves while we're on the subject. People talking about drafting an offensive lineman. Shut the fuck up. We have a first round pick that hasn't played yet. Are we gonna let him play? Can he play first? What's going on?
No, people rather give that to Mawada instead of see what Dillard is. No.
Andre Dillard needs to play this year.
And if he stinks, fine.
Okay, then you move on. But you draft him in the first fucking round, and he hasn't played yet. He has to play.
Traded up into the first round to get him, I thought.
Trade up.
Oh, they did.
Oh, yeah.
Here's some Phillies news.
Yeah, but if that dude now, if Pee Wee got all the way to 12, though, that might be something to think about. You know what I mean? Because like we're talking about all the quarterbacks. I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying, like, if all the quarterbacks went and all the wide receivers went and Pitts went or something and Parson went and Surtain went or something, you know what I mean? Like, and all of a sudden you're sitting at 12 and Pee Wee sitting there at 12. It's something to think about. I mean, they're talking about him being.
Well, if you got a guy,
a
guy that's rated top 5 and he's there at 12, you probably take him. I would assume. I'm always the guy that takes the best player available, but at this time, I'm kind of zeroing in on defense. Or, I'll settle for a wideout if you got – I would prefer Chase. But I really would like them to go after defense here. I agree with those sweeps. Like, you got a guy on your board that's 3 or 4, and he's there at 12. You got to take him then, right? But, I don't know. I like the good defense.
No, I hear you. Yeah. I'm just saying it would be just like, a typical typical decision, typical one of those decisions where how this guy fall to 12, he's an absolute road paver.
It's like Tunzel.
He's supposed to be a top 5 guy.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be a top 5 guy. Doesn't have any character issues, doesn't have any problems on or off the field. He's an absolute stud. But if this was a quarterback year where everybody, like 6 quarterbacks went, 3 wide receivers went, Pitts went, Parsons went, Surtain went, and there's the Eagles sitting there and Pee Wee sitting there at 12. You know what I mean? It's like, wow. You know what I mean? I know it's not the sexy pick, but there's a guy that could play offensive line for you for the next 15 years. Yeah. So they say.
Slater's another name too. Sorry, Slater's another name. Like if he's there, what do you? Big 10 road grader. Like, come on, they're usually pretty good. But I agree. I would try and steer away.
I just got our O-line if healthy. Obviously, is the huge key here. But our O-line, if healthy, should be a strength of the club.
Yeah, I would just argue long term, right? Like how much more does Lane have left, right? Kelsey's out.
Lane's pretty young, right? Still,
I think he's 32, 33.
Okay, that's older than I thought. But no, to me, like I would be shocked if we didn't take a late center in this draft. I feel
I'm sorry. Well, I'm sorry. You're right. He's only 30. He's only 30. But he's been injured,
he has been injured.
I would say that's it for Kelsey as well.
I absolutely think I wouldn't be shocked if we look 4th, 5th round at a center.
Well, he came back.
You get pretty good value.
He came back. He's gonna. We're not gonna be that bad. Yeah, you know how much $5 million is? I'll come back and play one more year too.
Well, I think that like I love me some Jason
You would touch
Kelce.
the
I
turf
just
for
think
$5 million, Greg, wouldn't you?
it's time to start grooming his replacement, though. Is what I'd say for Kelce.
Sure.
I definitely think that a center will be drafted in this draft.
Yeah, probably at some point. I would assume. Oh no, Phillies news. Real quick, per multiple reports, Joe Girardi says infielder Ronald Torres has made the Phillies opening day roster, and that leaves the Phillies with 2 spots between 3 players.
Wow.
Hazley, Quinn, and Herrera come down to them final 2 spots. So my question to you guys:
Ronald Torres made it. Wow.
Torres, whatever say, freaking.
Yeah.
It's
I just know because I was watching him yesterday before he got hit by the pitch.
Yeah, he made
a little tiny guy.
He's like a little Swiss Army knife type guy.
He played for Girardi up in
he played for the Yankees for a while.
Ex-Yankee. Yeah.
Who has options out of them too? Nobody. Quinn and Herrera. I mean Quinn and not Herrera. Quinn and Hazley.
Hazley probably does still.
Hazley's
I wouldn't be shocked if it's. Does Hazley still have an option?
I don't know if he still has an option.
I would assume he does. Quinn probably doesn't.
No, Quinn definitely doesn't at this point.
Yeah, he's been yo-yoed a million times. Injuries and
bye, girl.
Performance. Yeah.
To me, I would keep Hazley and Odubel, but I think they might keep Odubel and Quinn. I'm hoping Mickey continues to hit in AAA and kind of forces his way back onto the roster, but I don't know. Hazley, I don't know.
Man, that'd be a fall from grace, essentially. Like where last year your GM said, "This is their everyday center fielder," and then this year, I know you were banged up, but this year you're starting the minors. Jeez. You know what I mean? Like, okay.
I hear you.
Like, all right, that's fine. Sure that
I mean, I hear you, and that's the situation they created. I'm not saying that talent doesn't. We're all big talent guys. You know what I mean? The best guys should play. You know what I mean? But this is the bed you created when you worried about $10 million with Odubel. You know what I mean? Like I said, like whether it was found to be realistic or whatever it was at that time. If you cut him, then you wouldn't have to worry about this headache. You know what I mean? And obviously, I'm just saying. You know what I mean? We kept him around, and I know the dude rakes. It is what it is. He's
It hits everything. Hits women, hits the ball. Yep.
So now that's the situation they're in.
And I think another big situation is because of all that, Herrera is not on the 40-man roster. So you have to expose somebody and take him off the 40-man in order to put him back on. I don't think Hazley has any options left. I don't think Quinn does either.
Quinn's gone, man.
Yeah, it's going to be then Quinn. If Hazley doesn't have any options, then I assume that they would keep Odubel and Hazley, and Quinn would be released.
I mean, I know it's one game, but Hazley had a big double yesterday. In the time that I was there, and of course Herrera raked yesterday.
Herrera's been hitting.
There's always a chance of them cutting Herrera too. I mean, there's always a chance.
Yeah, I'd be okay with it, but he does hit, Tom, and
why'd you go through this whole dog and pony show in this circus if you were going to do that? You know what I mean?
Absolutely, Sweeps. Absolutely.
I'm not saying you. It's not. I'm not. That's not a shot at you. I'm just saying, like, to me, that would be asinine. You know what I mean? Like, you should have did it 2 years ago, and that's it. You know what I mean?
Don't even play him. Don't even give him a chance.
Don't even play him. Yeah, because don't even allow him to rake.
Yeah,
and get people pissed off and frustrated and stuff. You know what I mean? Because we know what he's going to do in the regular season. He can hit. He's always has been able to hit. You know what I mean? But we'll see if the time off.
It's every other aspect of his game.
Yeah, we'll see. Exactly. We'll see if the time off has made him hungry. You know what I mean? If he appreciated his being away from the game, and if or if he's still just big leagues pop ups and doesn't know how many outs there are, and he's and that kind of shit that drove everybody crazy. You know what I mean? But
yeah, can't run the bases. Fucking struggles in the outfield.
I mean, he can hit.
Yeah, I think Quinn's the odd man out here, obviously, but
he'll be hurt by May anyway. So
if we're looking at that,
could just throw Quinn on the DL
right now.
Just beat him to it by 2 weeks. That's all.
Yeah, 60 days.
Herrera makes your lineup even better. So you can put that guy 7 or 8 in your lineup and makes your lineup even better than it already was. So it's a no-brainer. If
I agree, Tom, and I think he's definitely not as he's not the best center fielder of the guys that we're naming here, but I feel like Bryce and McCutchen are good enough on the corners to make up for him not being as good in center.
Agreed. And there's these veterans on this team, unlike the teams where he was the best player, that they sort of keep him in check, right?
Yeah, I would hope. Yeah.
I think that helps it, because when he was doing all this crazy shit, he was the only guy who could hit and play. Like it was a bunch of it was a we were a shit can or whatever.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, has he appreciated, has he understood, time off, how quickly it can be taken away from you, and will he respect the game, and we'll see. I mean, only time will tell. But I hear you. I mean, if you have a good culture and a good locker room, and somebody is going to grab him by the throat, right? Then he should be fine.
Well, Slipknot, you better be big on Hazley. He was the 7th pick of the draft, not even that long ago. And if Roman Quinn makes his team over Adam Hazley would have to get released.
Yeah, there's no chance. There's no chance.
Not happening.
Yeah, I mean,
unfortunately, Roman Quinn has a skill set that usually translates to being able to make an MLB team. Like, he'll probably get picked up by someone else, but he just hasn't stayed healthy enough.
I've always liked Roman.
Yeah, I like his skill set. He's never healthy.
No, never.
At this point, Hazley's younger than you.
Listen,
and they're the same player, basically.
It's just common sense. Like, the odd man out here is
Roman Quinn. Yeah.
Well, it comes down to Quinn and Herrera. Hazley has no conversation.
Oh, yeah.
This is a Quinn or Herrera, which one of the two? And the common sense one tells you, well, how about we keep the former All-Star?
Yeah. Well, the guy that we know can hit.
The real common sense move is start Herrera in AAA so you don't have to move somebody off and potentially lose someone until Quinn gets hurt, and then you make that happen.
Yeah, you're gonna pay a guy $10 million to go down to AAA.
I'm just saying. Obviously that's a lot. They already got to move for Matt Joyce. They already got to pull somebody out for Matt Joyce. You know what I mean?
Are you that worried about losing Roman Quinn though?
No.
You sound like you are.
I'm not. I'm just saying from their standpoint, it's a logical option.
Yeah. And the first time he dives 20 feet short of a ball, you're like, you mother the fuck.
Quinn or Herrera?
Yeah.
I don't think Herrera will dive.
Herrera just won't dive.
He won't dive. He can't mess up his hair, but
he'll run like this and he'll land right in front. Like, why didn't he dive right? He could have caught it. Quinn would have dove 10 yards back.
First off, that dude walks into camp with them tree trunks and he makes major league teams. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Herrera just puts a uniform on with them fucking tree trunks and he makes his team over Roman Quinn.
It was funny. I was walking out yesterday and he had some family or friends there, and he kind of walked right by where we were parked, and yeah, I mean, he still looks like a brick shithouse.
Well, that was a big thing. Can he pick up sort of where he left off and being able to just square baseballs up a ton, and listen, I mean, you know me. I mean, I liked the guy back in the day. I thought
we know you, buddy.
We know.
I thought he was a tremendous hitter. Like, I thought he had the ability
batting title talk.
Yeah. There was a lot of batting title talk.
That's fine. Fine. I'm not like other people on here. I don't run from shit I said. There's plenty of other people that do shows on A2D that will run from their comments. Mine's all on tape, baby.
I'm in full agreement with you. Hey, you swing and miss sometimes, Tom. It's okay.
I'll stand on the island and say, hey, I missed a shit ton of
it was actually, but you know what? At one point, he was hitting like 384 and like May, and Tom was losing his mind. Losing his mind.
Right after that show.
Best hitter in the league. Right
after that show, he went 0 for 25.
He had reached the peak of the fucking roller coaster, and then he went, whoa, right on down.
He was trying to get him over for barbecues. I mean, the signs were on the front lawn. Obi on board. He had a little. Yeah, this is before cash, so he had that little sign. Obi on board on his car. Right?
But I didn't. I mean, he would have canceled with my mom. You know what I mean? You can't have that guy around.
Can't have him around.
You can get an MVP chant going for me. I love MVP chants. MVP it away. If this team is
no
what? You can't even do your one show a week. So
I was responding to Ted.
Yeah, I'm responding to you. You can't.
I'm here, kid.
This week you are. You know what I mean?
I was ready to do it last week.
Oh
I
my
wasn't
God.
going to watch Sixers
You
game.
sound more disinterested last week.
I wasn't going to watch the Sixers game. Like, I would have done the show. I wasn't going to watch the Sixers game.
All right. Me and Greg, we got through it.
I thought you guys did a great job.
Thank you.
I listened to some of it.
Wait, you take a few minutes out of your day to tune in? You know what I mean?
I've been tuned into everyone as well. Sometimes only for a few minutes, but I've been trying to tune into every show.
Sensitivity over here.
I'm not sensitive at all. You can say whatever you want. I don't care. I'm aggressively hungover today, and I'm here, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. Not really bushy-tailed or bright-eyed, but I'm here.
I get you. I get you. That's like, like I'm not Mr. Scott Kingery, but that's like really Monday morning quarterbacking it. Like, this guy was one of your top prospects. They gave him money on a longer deal for cheap. Like, it is what it is.
At this point, guys, I understand that everyone's kind of out on Kingery, but you got to hope that maybe he can refine something playing every day in AAA, because he looked like he was going to be a good player, and he's just the last year and a half he's fallen off the face of the earth. And he was terrible in spring. I think he hit like 160 with 20 punchies maybe. Yeah, just can't. Right now, you got to hope he finds something, because it looks like it was a bad contract. Bad early contract.
First off, what did you like? What's the point of him being up on this roster anyway? He's not going to play over Gene Segura. Like, where's he going to play? He's going to play over Alec Baum at third ever? No. Is he going to play over?
No. Kingery can't be on this roster right now, because you want him to actually play every day. You want him to actually play to see if he can get out of his funk.
Agreeing with you, Wells. You got to let him play every day, because he's not going to play over Bohm. He's not going to play over.
And he ain't playing every day on the Phillies.
And he's not playing every day in center field. So where the hell is he going to play every day at? You know what I mean? So you're better off, like, and the thing that really bothers me and makes me worried about Kingery is everybody told me how great defensively he was a second, and last year it didn't look like that at all. He just looked slow there, right?
I thought 2 years ago, or what was it, 3 years ago, when the year that he played a lot of shortstop, he showed me a lot that year. I thought he batted pretty well, considering we kind of made him play shortstop, and he played shortstop pretty well for us, kind of getting thrown into the fire. Then since then, he has regressed. I was hoping that maybe him having COVID early last year kind of really slowed him down. But then he comes this spring and he looks like awful. He looks awful. So I don't know.
Twitter wants to get into the blame game and blame everybody else for Scott Kingery's struggle. So I want you guys to hear this. So everybody on Twitter earlier today was, this is on the Phillies. Hear me out. This is on the Phillies for moving him around in too many positions.
Oh my God. Guess what? Guess what? When you're that Swiss Army knife type of guy, you're hoping they put you around.
When you're not that good at one position, when you're not that good at one position, you got to find your home.
Well, it's not even that, Greg. It's that they have a guy that plays your position better than you. So if they say hey, well, he's a better hitter, I would say. If they say hey, you can actually play in center field. Then you guys, what are you gonna do? I'm gonna get an outfield glove. I'm gonna go out to center field.
It's just more people with Twitter handles and keyboards. That's all it is. It's ridiculous, right? You can fucking. The bottom line is you can fucking play or you can't. Right? I mean, we said that fucking years ago when it was happening. All right, like I understand. Okay, this game is fucking mental, right? But when your fucking name is in the lineup, go fucking play or not, dude. That's it. Fucking sink or swim. That's it. Stop with the excuses. He fucking stunk. All right, they gave him money before he even fucking stepped in a fucking major league fucking uniform. All right, so it's a fucking mess. It happens in fucking pro sports.
He had stepped on the field, but it was early.
No, he's on the field for 2 days.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it was 4 games in.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I didn't even know if the popcorn guy was there yet. He wasn't even.
Wasn't it spring training?
Nobody was in their seat.
Tommy, didn't we do a video right before opening day
that was a spring training deal. Yeah, he got signed right before the season started.
Yeah. I'm saying there weren't even real games. Yeah, he weren't even real games.
Yeah, there was no major league games.
No, he had played spring training games.
Yeah, that's it. So, but guess what? That's why teams don't do this until they see a guy play, right?
Thank God we didn't give him a ton of money. I mean, we gave him a contract for years. It wasn't for a ton of money, thank God, because
it's like $25 million.
If it was a ton of money, it'd look really bad.
What was it? A 5-year deal, $25 million total, right?
I think it was like $4 million a year.
Yeah, it doesn't crazy. Yeah. It's a no-brain signing because you
got a severe thunderstorm watch.
Because you stink. Let's get that guaranteed cash.
Breaking news: severe thunderstorm watch.
Yeah, if it was Acuna would tell you this, right? Before he stepped on the field, go fuck yourself. I'll bet on myself. This guy couldn't sign for $4 million a year quick enough. He said, "I know my truth. Let me get the pen out."
You fucking dog.
Who's got the pen? I know my truth. All right, so we got about finish up here in about 10 guys, 8-10 minutes. We'll do. If you guys want to do crumbs now, unless anybody has anything else about any of the things we talked about, Sixers, Eagles, or Phillies. I know next week we'll obviously have baseball to talk about. It's opening day Thursday, so next Sunday will be fun. Now we're in our wheelhouse.
Yeah, probably have.
I saw Pove
will be on.
I saw Pove commenting about Archie Bradley. Archie looked good yesterday in his inning that he came in. Hadn't seen too much of him of the other games because they were either on TV or not on TV. But yesterday, I think he had a 15 pitch 1-2-3 inning. Looked really good. Had a lot of bite on the breaking stuff. So yeah, I think he looks ready to go.
His off-speed stuff looks good, that's all I really care about. Off-speed stuff looks good. You should be all right.
And what's funny, we left the game right after they took all the starters out, 7th inning. They were up 7-1. And then come to find out later on, they actually lost the game.
Yeah, 8-7. I saw that. I did see that.
Uncle sweeps, and now you got him. Now you got him. But he wants to know, because we have your pick next year now, what does he think about the Dolphins? Do you think you guys take a step forward or you take a step backwards?
What's the matter?
No, Ted wanted to know. Yeah. He had a question for you, so I showed him everybody's name, so he knew.
That's fine. I don't need any recognition. Yeah, I'll get a name tag, but I don't need any. Man, that's fine.
He's apologetic, Teddy.
Oh yeah. I said I don't take offense.
The Dolphins. He said the Dolphins fan think about getting us getting your first next year. Do you think the Dolphins miss the playoffs? Maybe take a step backwards.
Well, I mean, people know how I feel about Tua, so I mean, there's no hiding that. There's no hiding that. So I appreciate you putting the fucking bobber on top of the water there for me, Ted. I can fucking eat the shit out of it right now and go on a fucking Tua rant. But so I don't think they'll ever win with Tua. So that's just me. But once again, like we always talk about, prove me wrong. Go ahead and fucking shut me up. Throw the ball up more than 10 yards. Fucking 5-yard outs. So that's how I feel there. So could they take a step back? Absolutely. But I love Brian Flores. I like what they're doing pick wise. And so, but obviously the Patriots, Bill's out to make a statement. And the Bills, it's going to be a tougher division than it's been when Tom was on cruise control for 20 years, not to take anything away from those two guys, but it was a tomato can soup division for 20 years, but now you're talking, the Patriots should be back, not to, what they were, but, the Bills are looking like they're not going anywhere. And I don't think the Dolphins will go anywhere. So, but they could be the odd man out when the music ends. Will there be a chair for them in the playoffs? I don't know. But I like where they're going. So
I like your defense.
To answer that question, yes, I like the direction they're going. I like what Chris Greer's doing, and I like what Brian Flores is doing. So I'm just anti to it. So I don't know, but the same as as those guys are talking about Hurts here. You have to at this point. You have to see what you have. I think I know what they have, but they're going to play it out and see what they have. Would have loved to get a guy like Watson. Maybe, you could probably get him for fucking 2 bags of balls and a postage stamp right now.
And a happy ending.
Yeah, $24 free massage you throw in there too.
Loose buttholes. I appreciate
how funny and ironic would it be if the Patriots come playing in for Deshaun? You got Robert Kraft. And Deshaun with the masseuse gate.
He's just like, come on.
Come
and join the family. Join the family.
What's funny, though, is both the Dolphins and the Eagles talking about after this year, even this year. Now, I don't think the Dolphins do because I think they're going to give Tua every chance to succeed there, right?
Yeah, but I expect them to take a weapon for Tua, too.
Both are really into the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes next year if Tua and Hurts can't play. I mean, big time in the Watson sweepstakes with all the assets, I'm saying. With all the assets and picks and the ability to get it done, but not hurt you drafting moving forward. Because both teams have so many assets that it's not like either team will go without a first round pick at any year. You know what I mean? Think about it. Like the Eagles could give you 2 first rounders next year and and it hurts and call it a wrap. You know what I mean?
Still have one.
Depends on hurt, and still have one and have one in 2023. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Or
that's what the Dolphins have 2 this year, 1 next year because of the Eagles trade, and 2 in 2023. 2, so 5. They got 5 firsts, and then, and like I said, they got 13 picks in the first 2 days. In essence, in the next 3 years.
Ted, I knew where you were going, Ted. I knew what you were hoping for.
I mean, if Sweeps is right about Tua, we should have a pretty good pick.
Ted, I've been suffering.
Let's go Tua.
Yeah, I've been suffering for a long time, buddy. So I mean, what the hell's another year? I mean, I can help my friends out. I can help my friends out. You know what I mean?
You know what that is? You're an honorary Eagles fan now.
Yeah, people helping people. I can help. I can help my friends.
People help people.
Where's she at? She's still here.
The rafters sweeps. A raising the rafters at Lincoln Finance.
Yeah,
people help people.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'll help my friends out, and if that means Tua sucks again, and I say, tried to tell you so. Yeah,
Sweeps would actually take that. So just so everyone knows that he was right about Tua.
Oh yes,
what's another lost year if I can be right about Tua being a garbage can?
Yeah, I'm a spiteful motherfucker. Yeah.
Oh, I've met you.
Sweet. Watch Hurts have a better career than Tua. You just gonna make that shit up. If he gets benched for the guy and ends up having a better career, it would just make too much sense. Too much sense.
You're right. You're right.
All right, crumb of the week, boys. We'll get the fuck out of here.
I'll go first. I got one on deck. To me, it's just the NBA in general. I just hate the NBA. I despise it, and I'm going to give you a nice little rant about it. There's no accountability for these superstars just taking games off constantly. I don't like it. I think it doesn't really matter as much this year because of the pandemic.
Sorry, did you say taking games off? Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, I hate it. The superstars taking games off when they're healthy. I just hate it. I hate it. I know they're resting players. To me, imagine, like, I'll put you in this setting. Let's say you have a son.
Let's go.
And it's like you live in Indiana or something. Let's say, and your son's favorite player is your son's favorite player is LeBron or Durant or whatever. So when they're coming to Indiana, you buy tickets for that game. You buy, and fucking games are expensive as shit. It's a $400 day, especially if you're gonna get a jersey, food, fucking $400 day. And then they don't play. They're healthy, but we're gonna sit that one out. It's like, how do you even trust these guys? And they do it all. It happens every week. There's guys just sitting out. Oh, it's a rest game. Oh, it's a rest game. What? This didn't happen in the 90s. That's why I fucking hate the NBA now. It's a joke. No games start until there's 8 minutes left. I'm just strictly talking the regular season, by the way. I like the playoffs, but guess what? They don't sit out in the playoffs. They play. I just hate it. I don't know how guys can still go to NBA games. I don't get it.
That's the one thing I love about LeBron. I mean,
I will say that he does.
The only thing I love about LeBron.
I will say that, Sweeps. He does play, which I'll give him. When he's healthy, he plays every night, which is great. But there's a lot of guys that don't, and they're not even old. They're young guys.
What does he say about it? He says about it all the time. If I couldn't play every night, I want to play. That's what he says because my fans want to see me. Fans play to see us play. They don't pay to see backups. They pay to see the superstars. And then it's not playing constantly. To me, I have a real issue with that. I've had it for a long time, and it's just been bothering me more and more recently. I just don't get it. Like, you're getting paid handsomely. You got fucking 4 months off after the season. Fucking play, dude. If you're healthy, you should be on the court. I agree. I got 2 of them. NBA refs are one of them. I'm sick and tired of these guys making sure everybody knows they're there. Like, I'm really I'm tired of it. Like, I understand Dwight Howard's got a target on his back, and I completely agree with Sweet said earlier. Like, you got to know better when you just got teed up the night before and got kicked out. Like, just mind your P's and Q's for a night, okay? I know they're all over you. I know the bullshit call. I get it. All right, but like, these guys just want everybody to know they're there. I mean, they can't tee up enough people. Like, it's all around the league. Like, dude, if you can't handle the job, then don't collect the check then. Because part of it,
I think they teed up Ben for going like this.
Yeah,
I think they just teed you up for this rant.
Last night in the Sixers game, there was a moving screen charged to, I forget who. There was a moving screen on the Clippers, okay, and Ben stole the ball on it, and he went around Kawhi and knocked it away. But the moving screen was called first, right? So it was Sixers ball. Well, Ty Lue goes to the monitor. They replay it, and they actually not only overturned the moving screen, which was a moving screen, they call a foul on Ben Simmons on the tip on Kawhi on the steal, which happened after your call of the moving screen. So not only did you change the call
when play was stopped.
So in reality, then you just say, okay, Clippers ball out of bounds, no foul on nobody. Okay, but I thought it had to be overwhelming evidence to change the call. Like I watched it 10 times and he was moving. So this is what I'm sick of. I'm sick of them teeing up the whole world. If you can't handle it, don't do the job. Chris Paul talks more than any fucking player in the NBA to referees. More than any. Listen to him mic'd up. Guy has never teed up. Why? Because you had a player association? Is that why? Because it shouldn't be okay for some guys to be able to say whatever the fuck they want and other guys not to. Like LeBron talks all the time. Never teed up. Right?
Yeah.
And there's other guys that can't get teed up enough, right? And I'm not comparing. I understand these guys are stars. I get it. I understand that. But, like, there's other guys who get teed up a lot. Like, Kyle Lowry's been teed up 8 times this year. 8 times? You know what I mean? Like, for what? Like, I watched Kyle Lowry play a ton. I just think these guys overdo it with the tees. That's all. Like, if you can't handle criticism, then get the call right. You know what I mean?
Especially now with the arenas being empty, they probably hear more.
There's a certain 6 to 10 guys that they'll let say whatever the fuck they want to say, basically.
And I look at it. I agree with you 1,000%. I look at it from my vantage, like my point. Like I would like giggle back at him, and then I'd squeeze him a little bit, like like if I was an umpire or something, like I mean, like you keep wolfing, buddy. Then all of a sudden it becomes a postage stamp, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden maybe I call another foul on you, but I'm gonna let you keep wolfing. I'm just gonna giggle at you, you know what I mean? Like and then you start to understand, like, all right, maybe I gotta shut up here. I'm either acting like an idiot, and this guy's tightening up here, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, so that's my crumb is NBA refs and Sixers fans. The end of it, Sixers fans over the last 48 to 72 hours have been. You would think we're back in the process stage.
You can't even listen to them.
Yeah, like
it's unreal.
We'd have 10 wins. We have 10 wins right now, and we just we got to get players. And like I said, I was good with all the
are we not in first anymore? Did I wake up 2 weeks later and we're in fourth? Like what happened? All of a sudden we stink, and we need all these guys that stink and won't even see the court for us. It makes no sense, people.
Thank you, Wells. Thank you.
Yeah.
You don't agree on a ton. Sometimes we agree on a lot more. And we get let on.
We agree on more than people realize. We just go at each other because it makes the show better.
But
this time we really agree.
Like it's just, I thought after last night's show there was something wrong with me. I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe there's something wrong with me, right? And now I'm knowing there's nothing wrong with me. I was spot on, and I'll talk trades all day. Like before the deadline, I got no problem bringing it up and having conversations. They're conversation starters. But once you start talking to me about buyouts, I'm out. I'm out. Okay, unless fucking some guy who could drop 25 a night is getting bought out, I'm good where I'm at. Now,
guess what? He's not.
If I was a 4 seed right now, then talk to me about all these buyout guys. I get it. I totally understand. So there are my crumbs. Yeah,
if Embiid wasn't coming back, then we'd have to go look for a big guy. But he's coming back.
Crum and Ryan don't know this, but during that rant last night, I literally had my finger on end broadcast. That's how mad I was. That's how triggered them two got me. Crum's talking about Luol Deng at the bottom, and Rye can't bobblehead enough at the top, and I fucking lost it. I lost it. I can't deal with it.
It's not even Luol. I'll take Luol. It's Gorgie. He's been on 11 fucking teams.
Oh, Georgie.
11.
Georgie. Oh, Georgie.
Do you know there's a reason why Georgie Jang's been on 11 teams? Because he fucking stinks.
Oh,
he's a 7-footer. He's a 7-footer. So
say it louder for the people in the back, Pop.
Everybody tell me how well he shoots, Wilson. 18 minutes of play. I'm like, on a shit team where they're down 30.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Someone's got to score.
All right, they're my crumbs. Go ahead.
I'll go. I don't think Greg would have this. Plus, as an outsider, like, because I don't want, you guys to get accused of being fanboys or not fanboys, like ex boyfriends. I mean, we'll put it to bed right here. We weren't on. We weren't on last week. No, I mean, because I'm saying
I'm just fucking with you.
Right. For me, it's Carson Wentz. You understand? And we've been fans of him. We protected him. Right. And then we wondered why he didn't talk, and now we know why. Right? Because you said in the Green Bay game, you piece of shit scumbag. That's when you thought you wanted out. You fucking pussy. You're a fucking pussy coward, and you don't compete, and you're a scumbag. And now you'll probably go 13-3, and you'll be an all-pro, and Lottie fucking da. And in my book, you'll always be a pussy and a coward. And you wouldn't want to compete, and that's 2021, and it's sickening. And fuck you.
Well, the other thing,
not even an Eagles fan.
Can I add on as a guy who's protecting him too?
Please add on.
Now you don't want to stop posting.
Yeah. Now I can't wait to talk to everybody. He just,
hey
guys, out in the woods.
I'm sorry.
I get a microphone in front of my face.
I stuck up for this guy for a long time.
Out of here, dude.
I stuck up for this guy for a long time. I didn't think he needed to go to social media over anything. But what's happened after he's gotten traded? Mm-hmm. You're a bitch. Okay. The fact that you ran yourself to Indy and all this stuff that Dan Orlovsky was talking about is actually true. That's the only guy you trust in the league. That's the only guy you'll listen to. You're a baby, bro. You're a baby, and I hope they go. I hope they go 3-13. Like I've lost so much respect for the guy that like people who keep bringing him up, I'm telling them to shut the fuck up.
He's a pussy.
It's by girl. Like, I want Jalen Hurts to be good. Despite Carson Wentz. Like, I want him an Eagles fan. I want him to be good. But I'm willing to eat as much crow as possible on Jalen Hurts and me thinking he's not good enough. As like, I want you to be a fucking 10-time All-Pro now. All right? A 10-time All-Pro. All right? And I'm willing to eat all the fucking crow in the world.
Such a diva that he didn't think he wanted to get, getting benched. Right? Guy was
the worst quarterback in the fucking league.
Guy was the worst quarterback in the fucking league. I don't care about offensive line and weapons. No shit, dude. All right? Your decision making was horseshit. You were horseshit. You could have fucking owned it and said, hey, listen, this team's paying me a lot of fucking money. Mm-hmm. Grab your bootstraps and go fucking compete.
Could have been better. No, I could have done a lot of things better.
Typical today's athlete. Things don't go their way. Fucking trade me.
Run and hide. Hey, guess what? Jalen Hurts. To Jalen Hurts' credit, he's not that guy, which is something I really like about him. The same thing happened to him in Alabama. He didn't tuck and run and be a pussy. He stood. He was like, "All right, Tua beat me out. I'll bide my time."
Hey, that's why I think he's going to be able to play. That's why I'm just going to. Maybe I'm putting my faith in the wrong things, but like. There is something to do with work ethic. If you want to get better and you care enough about getting better, you can get better. Now, are you going to get more velocity on your ball? No. But can you get your hips better? Right? Can you get your footwork better? Right? Can you stay in the pocket more? Absolutely.
Quick release.
So I never wanted to root for somebody more because I want him to have a better career than Carson Wentz now. One, because he's not a pussy and he doesn't run from it and all the things you just spoke on. Well, so
yeah. When your back's against the wall, you fight or you cower, and Carson cowered. Like
everyone on this panel was Team Carson Wentz two fucking months ago. Okay?
Absolutely.
So remember that, Carson, when you did this city dirty. You did the diehard fans dirty when you want to go start fucking talking on Pat McAfee, and it's a tell-all. VH1 fucking storytellers, you bitch. But you'll go on a guy who's critical all the time too. Pat McAfee was critical of you, and then Pat took a different stance real quick. Yeah, because you're
because in Indianapolis now.
That's what punters do. They run from it.
Go kick something.
I mean, how do I follow that?
Yes, Red Sand. Yes.
Sorry. Yeah.
Definitely play 75% of the snaps though.
What up, Drew? I see Drew in there. How do I follow that? Well done. Drew, what do you want me to say? They're all right. Tommy, I'm going to piggyback on your NBA refs and go the NCAA refs because you could tell a point of emphasis is the offensive foul because everything is an offensive foul right now, and it's ridiculous. But my real crumb is
Greg.
My real crumb is going to be Matt Klentak and Scott Kingery. Matt Klentak, how do you sign a guy? I don't care if it was good money, bad money. How do you sign a guy without ever seeing him on the field at the major league level? How do you do it? I don't care if you do it by a small sample size. He goes out and he lights it up for 30 games, and then you give him the contract. Cool. But you saw no major league time, and you signed the contract, and now we're in this mess. And Scott Kingery, you stink right now. I'm not going to say he stinks totally. I think so, but you stink right now. So you have to own part of this as well.
The only thing I'll say to you is that's why Matt Quintock doesn't have a job anymore.
Yeah, and I mean, what mess are we in though?
Yeah, I would have
sent him down.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying,
no, I think.
What's that?
I think I know what you mean, but the mess.
You just confused me there. But I agree. They should have signed
yo-yoing, right? Because now you're like, back and forth. Now is he playing center field? Are you playing second base? Is he down in the minors? Like that's the mess. The yo-yo of the guy.
Makes sense. Yeah. In terms of the yo-yo, yep. And no, I mean it's a good crumb. It's a good crumb. It's being the smartest guy in the room. Well, let me get ahead of this guy because he's gonna be so good that we're gonna get him on a cheaper deal when it's all
like
said.
You said, this ain't Ronald Acuna. This is Scott freaking Kingery.
All right, boys. I know you guys got fancy baseball drafts. Tis the season, so soak it in.
Tis the season. I don't even know. I think they're actually about to do the the pick, the lottery. So I'll find out what I'm picking shortly. It doesn't start till 7:30 though.
Yeah, mine's at 6. All right, I'm out. I think I told the girls I would go. I think I told the girls we'd do, a couple errands too. I forgot about that. Fuck that one.
Fucking A-Poves.
Bed Bath and Beyond. A nice little Sunday plan.
Not sure if we're gonna have time.
Fuck that one up. Pull the Frank the Tank. I fucked that up. All right. Nice knowing you guys.
Once it hits your lips, it's so good.
He's gonna do one. He's gonna do one.
Hey, probably won't see you next week. All right, boys. It's been a hell of a run.
Hey, Shaw, real quick. I think he checked out after draft night. You want my honest opinion? All right.
To me, it looked like he did because he played garbage all year. To me, how can and this is coming from a Carson Wentz supporter. How can you play the way you played and take no accountability for it? Blame everyone else. Like, you see, he went the complete opposite way that Aaron Rodgers went. Aaron Rodgers, they drafted a guy in the first round. Aaron Rodgers said, "You gonna fucking do that to me? All right, you're gonna see." Then came out and balled out. Carson went the complete 2020 way is what Carson did. I'm just gonna go find a safe spot and hide here until my friend in Indianapolis comes and gets me. I'm in my safe place, guys. Please, like that to me, I can't take it. I can't take it. I'm done with him. Done. And he might be good. Like, he should be good for the Colts. He's got a great skill set. That's why we always liked him. But I hope he's never good again. I hope he gets hurt again.
Yeah, come rescue me. My fucking pussy hurts. Fuck you. Get out of here.
And we're out of here on that note. Pussygate. We love you guys. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Turn your alerts on. Blah, 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 blah. We're brought to you by our doc, Make Him Yours, Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, Burlington, Cherry Hill locations. Find them on the web, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC. For Thomas Arnone, Greg Milakovic, Brian Wilson, Nick DelGozzo, the family out there, we love you. Can't thank you enough. You drive the show. Enjoy the rest of your March Madnessing tonight.
Yeah, Final Four next weekend.
And, yeah, that's all I got for you guys. So. Everybody besides, you're cool unless you're Carson Wentz.